Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. A friend of mine used to say, and that friend was Mr. Tiger Richardson, that what would happen if the button wanted to boop you? Contemplate that. There we go. This afternoon's scene is going to be set in a new venue, in a new area, as yet uncharted via the mages of the city as they wander about their daily lives. Indeed, it would almost seem like a new shop has popped up just off one of the high streets of Dublin, just off Grafton Street, down one of those winding little promenades that permeate the city centre. In fact, you will merely see a green lantern with a small light in it and a rather spidery looking sign on the outside that will read Assorted Mysteries, Occult Shop and Emporium. Inside, if you step in, there's a smell of dust, a smell of age, a smell of things forgotten. We will go with the intros of people who will go right to left on my particular screen. So, Solon, you are first.
Well, Eric is presumably just taking a walk for his health, or else sensed something weird or something drew him here. Hand wavium. It's a wonderful thing. End result, he's going to look at the shop sign kind of curiously and then open the door and step inside.
Okay, once again, you're greeted by the smell of age and dust. It seems to percolate through your nostrils. You see, this shop is actually quite large. You wouldn't think it was from the outside, but no, it goes back and back and back and back. You'd nearly have to climb up on one of the bookshelves in order to see how deep it ran, but you sense that that might be somewhat disconcerting for the ownership. However, it would be a place where you could easily get lost should you decide that that is what you wished to do.
Lots of winding shelves and such.
Yes.
Is there a counter, like where you would buy things?
There is indeed a counter. However, it is unoccupied.
On the counter, you could have sworn within the counter there's probably a display port, this display area where there's some different trinkets and products, and you could have sworn that one snake-like medallion that's almost the size of like you could say is the size of a heart. You could have sworn the eyes were looking straight into you.
I should probably ask Data Site and Prime Site.
You have Data Site and Prime Site.
Well,
okay.
Data Site, like such.
Does Sebastian have wards around this place?
Around certain points in it, yes. Around other points in it, no.
All right. So we can discuss those later. Maybe we'll even roll for them another time. But you definitely detect that that this is a warded location. In terms of magical effects, perhaps not so blatantly at the front. There are items that seem to have some kind of legitimate, you could say, metaphysical energy in it. A lot of processing objects that have a lot of processed data moving through them than others, but it's more towards the back where you kind of get the sense that there's a lot more potent activity behind there.
He's just going to start unobtrusively walking through the shelves and looking around.
All right. Next we will intro. Who is next on my list? Hyun, you are next.
Alright, so Hyun will walk in. He's probably, as is per usual, just trying to get out of the rain or whatever. He'll walk in, just kind of looking around. Since it's an occult shop and he's recently been introduced to somewhat occult ideas and whatnot, just kind of looking around. Taking a view at everything going on.
Do you have any sights up?
No.
Okay. Otherwise, how high is his awareness trait?
He has 1 dot.
Does Aldred have one, Solomon?
I'm sorry, what?
Does he have an awareness trait?
I believe I do.
By the way, guys, I will be back in just about 30 seconds or so. I just have to take a very quick phone call.
Very well.
I do have awareness.
Okay. At what level?
1.
Okay, so both of you, when you entered this place, it probably took a little while for our virtual out of friend here, but both of you in this place, even though this place seems dust and dry, and many of the items here seem old and taken from a lot of ages, and some things here seem faker than others, there's definitely something up here. Something's not quite right. There's a twinge in your stomach being in this place. There's almost a little gear ready for when your body just needs to get the fuck out of here fast.
Maybe the multiple prime signatures and the wards around some of these items would have tipped me off there.
Right, but I'm trying to go more for, what your body would take in, just your awareness, not necessarily your magical sights. And Hyun would see an old man. You can describe Eldred from there.
No, he wouldn't.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Unless you've got a mind shield of 6 points or higher, in which case you totally see him.
I do not, so...
So you don't see anyone else in the shop. It seems abandoned.
And at that point, just so we can continue on the little train of things, Ryan, you are next.
Just about to introduce our friend there.
Aha. Great minds think alike.
Well, since this is, from my understanding, during the day, correct? While we're out doing our jobs?
More than likely, it'll be more so leaning towards the evening, so not necessarily nighttime yet, but about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
So as dusk is falling.
Yeah. Which means Ryan would show up and walk through the door, still in his nice, lovely uniform. Probably having just gotten off work, not having time to get home yet.
I will recommend, if you want to do that, I'd recommend having 2 pictures for your character, one which is him in uniform, the other which is him out of it.
Yeah.
Just find 2 pictures that look slightly alike and just throw another picture up when you're in uniform. Because it actually means that you look more official and shit.
Right. So, which I'll need to find. Which he'll come in and start looking around. He does have awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he has awareness.
Let's see, how much awareness does he have?
1.
So, okay. Well, not as high as I thought it would be, but regardless, you still feel the same thing. Especially with you, with your background as a soldier, there's definitely almost like this instinct that's kicking in. That's feels like you're being prepared to run the hell out of here when you need to.
Yeah. So I'm rolling for the correspondent site, Battlefield Sense, just to get a feeling of my surroundings.
All right, and how do you do that?
For him, it's more of that tactical awareness. Literally, he's getting in that combat mindset of getting ready for a fight.
Alrighty. Sounds good. Div 4, Amirate. In the meantime, when that's happening.
3 successes.
Alright. You're good. So your tactical awareness comes up. How would you think wards would appear to him that are situated around this place?
Realistically, what you would probably see is black and purple moving script that over various different sections of the store appear to form their own pseudo barriers and written in a language that you can't understand, that is very odd and scribbled, almost as if it was nonsensical children's gobbledygook.
Yeah. Like, that's not creepy as hell.
Okay.
My. So wonderful to have guests. You hear a voice say from now, walking from between the shelves, you will see this gentleman. How very wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my humble store. How may I be of assistance?
Eric's going to kind of like stepping in kind of from the side, not too close to startle him or anything, though he figures anyone who owns a shop like this will probably see him anyways. He's like, very nice shop you have. From the perspectives of the other two folks, where the hell did that guy come from?
Pretty much. All of a sudden, you just see this old man kind of pop out of the blue.
Yeah,
Just from, like
Yeah.
yeah, no, please.
Little jumpy.
The figure will extend his hand. He'll extend it first to Hayun, because he looks at him up and down, and he'll extend one of his gloved hands. Welcome to my humble store.
Hyun will extend a hand and shake it and say, well, thanks. I'm Hyun. It seems like a very nice place you got here. A little quiet.
I like the quiet. It tends to allow me to work, as opposed to all the loud noises.
Understandable.
He'll then extend his hand to the police officer, and he'll say, I do hope I haven't done anything illegal again.
He'll extend his hand and shake. Not that I'm aware of. Is there anything that I should be aware of?
He'll kind of quirk an eyebrow, and he'll say, interesting. Based on your unique perspective, I don't sense that you'd care about certain excess or certain customs and excise duties. So we'll just call it quits. How about I give you a nice cup of tea? Seem like a deal?
Considering my my job is with the emergency response, this isn't exactly emergency, so it's under 5 years even for customs, so the most I'd have to do is report it, especially considering I'm off duty.
Well, it's also the fact that many of the things in the shop are far too dangerous for ordinary individuals, and I know you're not an ordinary individual, to get their hands on if they want to, maintain the use of their hands.
Eric, you will notice off of Sebastian, by the way, that there is a lot of quintessence in that. There's a lot of quint flowing from that body.
More than 5.
More than 5.
Seen it before.
He'll then extend his hand and he'll say, you must be Eric Elder.
My reputation precedes me for once. He looks mildly, not flattered so much as concerned, but he'll shake the hand.
He will say, I'm led to understand that we share certain acquaintances.
That'll kind of get a head tilt from him.
May I offer you gentlemen a cup of tea?
Tea sounds great right now.
He will turn on his heel and he starts walking back through the library, and he'll quirk an eyebrow and he'll say, he'll kind of look Hyun up and down and he'll say, Chinese? No, Korean, yes?
From what I understand, yes.
I'm very good with accents. My apologies. I spent quite a lot of time in Seoul. It's a beautiful city.
I'm sure it is.
He'll casually shrug. I'm led to understand that one of the last unicorns to ever truly exist on the mortal plane lived roughly about 30 miles outside the city until it was killed in the year 1812.
I really
For all
hope
you
that's
know,
true.
for all of you know, that could be complete bullshit, and he could just be literally stringing words together to make sentences.
To be fair, for all Hyun knows, anything could be complete bullshit.
As you guys are conversing, one of a strange object on one of the shelves, or I should say one of the tables nearby you, that seems to be a display stand filled with all sorts of knickknacks or display items you can buy. It just starts to vibrate and shake a little bit. Eric, from your perspective, it looks like there's something trying to it looks like the kind of energy that's trying to, how to describe it,
Is it
burst,
one of the
burst out.
So essentially, it's a warded spot, and whatever's in there is testing the wards.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any sights up, Sebastian?
Sebastian always rocks around. I have a list of his rotes in my own my own files. I'll copy and paste them into my own blue booking in a little bit. He has his mind sight up because he always generally has that up, and he generally has the spirit sight up.
Okay. So generally, you will see that there is for you, Sebastian, you definitely see almost like this tiny, itty bitty little thicklement that's attached to the inside of this kind of almost puzzle cube, is just shaking and almost trying to break free of what's inside.
He will raise a gloved hand to kind of hold a finger up in the air, and he'll say, "One moment, please." At which point he walks over to the table, kneels down, puts his finger on top of the puzzle box, and he'll say very calmly in Enochian to the spirit, so we can understand him, "Come on, calm down. Thank you."
I just want to. Is what you hear.
It's nice that you want to do that. It really is. However, it's not really going to help anyone. I mean, you can't break out of this prison, or you can't break out of this confinement even if you wanted to. So I might recommend, I don't know, calming the hell down and not wasting both your energy and my ability to talk.
Roll me a charisma and expression.
Actually, I have
Don't
to check
botch.
Sebastian's scores.
Botch. And then everyone ran, and the building burned down.
I choose to point out, fuck you, sir. My building is on. Actually, no. He doesn't have the sphere to make his building, inflammable. That is not a good idea.
Yeah, you need to get some batter for that, Boyle.
You might want to invest in a sprinkler system.
And also, everyone else in the room can react if they wish to the vibrating box that Sebastian is now putting a finger over.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I assume with the correspondence site, I could basically
You can
send something.
see that there's some kind of something being contained.
Yeah, something being contained and something trying to break the containment.
What you'll see is that
The
strange.
ward's bending.
It's shaking. Is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Is that a recent acquisition then?
I don't know, Adam. Is it a recent acquisition?
You got this. Frankly enough, you're not really sure. Quite exactly when. It was probably a couple months ago. You got it from some guy who wanted to trade you for some stuff in the shop, and basically he said, "Look, there's this old friend inside. I'm sure he'll be useful at some point. Maybe to one of your customers here if they need some." If they need something done to someone else, I'm sure it'll make a good trade for you. And so far, it hasn't really been doing much. But this is the first time you've seen it react like this.
All right. For some reason my Discord has decided to spaz out. Can somebody just roll me 3 dice? I'm going to spend a willpower.
What diff?
Standard diff, I assume.
Do it.
We'll say standard, yeah. So you
3
spend a
successes.
willpower point. Yep. So you got 3 successes.
3 with the willpower, yeah.
So suddenly the vibrations begin to slow down and stop and says, I will achieve my purpose. Yeah.
Yes.
You'll see.
I will also achieve my purpose of getting some carrot cake.
That's all you hear.
He very calmly stands up. You know what? He tosses the box to Elder, and he's just like, consider it a gift.
Blink, blink.
Okay. Elder, when you touch the box, how do you hold it? Or do you catch it at all?
I would actually. Do I need to roll? I think if he's tossing it at me, I would need to roll to step out of the way.
We'll say because you're old, yeah. You're a little bit, you're not as... Do wits alertness to dodge out of the way.
Sure. Let me see. It's 2 alertness. Alertness I don't have, but I don't take a penalty, so...
Also known as the ancient and honorable game of catch.
And I failed.
Could
So it
I
probably impacts me and drops on the floor.
could I theoretically like try and intercept it, being like a fucking puzzle box going towards an old man who doesn't appear to be like the strongest dude in the world?
Right?
Yeah, you can just roll dexterity, athletics, basically, in order to just do the quick kind of intercept catch.
Okay.
Though because you're not the intended recipient, and you kind of have to sidestep, it's probably going to be difficulty 7.
Um,
7.
I got 3 successes.
All right. And so you catch it instead of Elder getting, need to dodge out of the way. Once you hold it into your hands, roll me your willpower.
Holy,
Tiger.
here we go. The difficulty.
Standard. Okay. Good on you, because once you hold on to this thing, you kind of get this feeling, like in your gut, that this thing was almost trying to make some kind of sympathetic connection with you. But
All right,
as of
and it
now,
is
it's just an
dropped.
inert object in your hands.
Oh, okay.
For now.
Did I say Eric? I mean Hyun. Have a present, Hyun. Yes.
Thanks. What is in this?
If it helps, I'm not exactly sure.
That does the exact opposite of help.
I mean, consider this a learning exercise.
Don't catch random puzzle boxes?
Yes.
Alright.
No. That doesn't sound official, does it? How not to catch random puzzle boxes 101. That sounds more official.
Fair.
At which point he will very calmly stand up, brush himself off because the floor is dusty because God knows he doesn't vacuum, and proceed to stride off through the shelves and through the bookcases again.
And one last thing, Tiger.
Yeah.
As that statement, as that conversation kind of moves on, you feel like in your blood vessels, like just by holding onto this thing, that some of the like contents within your blood vessels begin to vibrate just by holding onto this thing. But there's no thing you have to roll or anything like that.
It just kind of feels
It's
weird.
It just kind of feels weird.
Yeah.
so what you're saying is the puzzle box has an unidentified reality deviant inside it, and you're just tossing it around. And it's capable of at least shaking and shivering what's keeping it inside.
Could I, by chance, reinforce the wards? or set up
You
a
have
secondary.
no way to connect to it with electronically, so no.
He kind of puts his hands behind his head as he walks, and he'll say, "You have a very interesting perspective on what the deviation from reality is. But each of these entities is, in fact, a facet of reality as opposed to a deviation from it. So I think that calling them a reality deviant is inherently flawed."
There's a twitch from Eric, and at that moment, guys, Evan, I am sorry to do this.
Mhm.
I'm activating Arcane.
Okay.
I hate to do that to you guys because that kind of means that you guys are going to forget some of this.
How are you
I'm
ruling
sorry.
Arcane, Evan? I know you changed things around a little bit.
It's literally just a statement, and then it's literally just a statement, and then it quote unquote activates. So basically, from this point on in the conversation, we will essentially forget. Well, I have to look up the actual rules again. We will essentially forget Eric's existence. I want to say we'll remember he was here up to this point, and then we can't remember him after this point.
It's almost as if saying the word reality deviant caused him to vanish.
For the record, I wasn't the first to say the word reality deviant. I was responding to a comment.
For now, Eric isn't quite vanished from vision. It's just that you don't find him.
Oh no, he's not vanished from vision. My response is that he will be well, depending on various
You forget
different
all
factors.
the details about him afterwards, at least after that point.
Yes.
And he still has the forget me field, so yeah, that too. Stabbing back into the woodwork.
All right, so go ahead and continue on.
So you say that it is a portion of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Under what standard definition of any kind of creature does it exist?
He'll very calmly shrug, and he'll say, "By your logic, God is a deviation from reality."
Abstract thought, idea, thought form. You're saying that's just some kind of thought form, an idea.
No. By your concept, God, the Father, the creator of all, is just a concept of human morality or an anthropomorphic personification.
Roughly speaking, yes.
I can categorically 100% tell you that that is not the case. He's just continuing to walk. Like, this is Tuesday.
So I'm pretty sure it felt it trying to reach into my brain. Is it supposed to do that? Because I'm feeling like it's not supposed to do that.
I mean, I recommend tapping it.
He'll look at it weirdly, and then he'll just kind of tap it with his finger.
Okay. Before you tap it, just note there are a lot of different symbols that are kind of etched in around this box, and you can notice that you can like move it around like a Rubik's cube, but in kind of a. It's not. It doesn't. The pieces that are able to move do not move in the way that you would normally expect a puzzle box to move. And I guess I have to ask, where do you tap it?
So like he's holding it on the bottom, right? And then whatever face is closest to him, he will tap it on that side.
Okay. You feel that feeling, that vibration feeling in your arm, get a little bit stronger. And if you tap it faster, it gets even stronger and stronger until it goes up to your elbow.
He's gonna he'll stop tapping it and he'll just kind of raise it slowly to his head, like he's looking at it at eye level. He'll squint at it and say, "Cut that out. It's fucking weird."
Eventually, you feel once you stop tapping it, even just as you're saying that, you feel the vibration go away.
Oh, thank you. he'll respond to that by just kind of slightly stroking the top of the box, much like someone would a cat or a dog.
Okay. Talk about that. We'll see what happens later if you keep doing that. But go on. Did you all want to be introduced into the scene?
Oh, certainly. Go ahead, Adam. I'm excited to do this.
So, since it's Evan's shop, I'll let Evan describe his occult shop. But you're approaching this shop on the streets called, was it the Mysterious Emporium?
It is called, one moment.
Assorted
Can't remember yet. Assorted Mysteries, yes.
Assorted Mysteries.
It is a shop that is just off one of the main shopping thoroughfares on one of the winding, narrow streets that makes up the multitude of Dublin. Actually, it'll be easy because we have two new people to introduce at once. Haha, victory. I consider this a personal and moral victory. That is cut into the heart of Dublin city centre. One of these side streets down which you can find mystery, adventure, or just the smell of urine. Urine. There is a spidery written sign above a bright green door that simply says Assorted Mysteries. As you step inside, you are immediately hit with the smell of age, the smell of parchment, the smell of almost the smell of wonderment, because he's totally that grandiose. You see inside a shop that looks much bigger on the inside than it does from the outside perspective. Not necessarily supernaturally so, just the building is oddly disguising in terms of its actual girth and its width. You will see row after row of bookshelves that lead off down, twisting and turning in odd rhythmic patterns that seem to make no sense to the naked eye. It's a pleasant place.
As you enter the building... Oh, go ahead.
Evan, you said these patterns. Like what? Like are they spirals? Are they like lines that form geometric shapes?
The different bookshelves appear to be positioned in a way, so you'll walk down a straight line for about maybe 5 meters, then there'll be a sharp right angle, and then it'll turn again at another right angle a couple of meters later. So perhaps you could say maybe if you were to look at it from above, it might all mean something if you could see the pattern from above.
Oh, okay. I think I see what you did here out of character, and I love it.
Thank you. I do things like that. But yeah, it is very, very big and very, very open, and it is a very wide space that you will enter.
Okay. Yuki will enter and probably start to browse the shelves, kind of looking at the books and just get a feeling for the general vibe of the place before she starts looking for what she would actually be here for.
Okay, what's Yuki's awareness?
Her what?
Her awareness.
I think it's 2.
Okay.
No, her awareness is 1.
Okay. Heather, Yuki is not aware. This place feels a little bit, your body gets the sense that there's something that it should look out for in this place. And it's almost on alert and ready to get out of here when it needs to.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes. And Dr. L.
Yo.
So, you're walking down the street. You view this strange little shop called. This is the third time the shop has been named, but go ahead, Evan. You can take it from me from here.
Assorted Mysteries.
Assorted Mysteries. You heard the description before, I assume? From before?
No.
Oh. So,
Okay.
Evan, you can go ahead.
It is a shop down one of the winding, twisting side streets from one of the major Dublin commerce thoroughfares. It is a rather unassuming place. You just see a sign with rather spidery writing that just has the name over it, and then a large green door that, when pushed open, reveals a much larger space that spreads out very, very deeply into a building. You didn't assume it would be nearly this large when you stepped inside. The room is filled with the smell of dust, the smell of paper, the smell of parchment, the smell of history, as it were, that seems to emit from everywhere. You see a number of bookshelves that arrange themselves in odd patterns, or rather, they appear to bend and twist oddly as you can see them. Entering into the shop deeper, there is a counter on which there's a cash register which stands vacant currently, and you will see a Yuki.
I will see a what now?
A Yuki.
Hello. Me. I would be Yuki.
Oh, okay.
You know, I didn't ask this the other day when we were talking, Ben, because I assumed I knew. But Asuka doesn't really look like Asuka looks more presented like she does in the series than people's perception of her as being Japanese, correct?
You mean she looks more Caucasian than Japanese?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, but, oh, there's something telling me to get out of here, and now there's a girl here. Okay, that's... That's something I'll have to keep an eye on.
Well, Dr. L is looking around the shop rather curiously with a bit of a bemused expression on her face. Like, this is something she may have seen before in some variation, and it's kind of funny.
Quick question. Do you have any active wards and or prime items on your person? Or anything that would emit prime signatures? Like, there's an effect fuzzing it, or...
Like, she scans as completely baseline. Perfectly baseline human.
Gotcha.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, no. I will actually keep this to myself for a little bit. Moving on.
The figure leading you will raise a finger as the doors open and close, and he will say, "If you'll excuse me for a moment, gentlemen, I'll be back momentarily." At which point he will turn on his heel and walk back through the bookcases. A few moments later, for those of you at the door, the figure pictured will emerge out into the front of the shop. He will say very politely, "Good afternoon."
Oh, good afternoon.
Okay, because it's important, either of you, sites that are currently active.
Spirit site.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, heck. Oh, boy. Okay. Yuki doesn't have any sites active right now. But she might activate them depending on how things go.
All right, hi, Ben. How's it going?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
The longer I don't need to do the explanation of his aura, the better everyone is. But he will give a slight bow to Yuki, and he will say, I see that you've come in order to peruse.
I'm actually looking for some specific supplies.
I'm very good at the specific.
However, remember you have another flaw that she should know about. It's called infamy.
Oh,
So,
yeah. To be fair, yes, that is fair.
Yep.
If everyone here would like to make an intelligence mage lore check at DC 6.
Oh boy, okay.
Yes, he is infamous in magi circles.
If 6, you said, right?
F 6.
Can I
Exactly.
right-click? Never mind.
You can right-click him, but no information will come up.
That's fair.
it took me how much?
I got a success.
Two
wow.
successes.
Ryan got a success. Yeah.
I think I may load up the rolls room because Discord
Okay, I'll
is
get the
being-
rolls remote.
It's working on my end, but it might not be working on yours.
I mean, okay, so wait, no. Now it's responding to me. The program itself just like froze. So you said intelligence mage lore, Evan?
Intelligence mage lore.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's... Oh god, you're really high.
Two successes.
Okay, I'm realistic to give it a threshold of 2 successes because I want to give everyone the same amount of information who got it. So about the only one who currently didn't get it is our poor Technocrat, or our poor IX member, but you know, there.
Actually, I succeeded with 1 success.
Well, if it has a threshold of 2, no, you didn't, dear.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
There.
And I'll remind Ben when they get back to make a roll.
At the very least, with 1, you'd know that sums up with this guy. At the very
That's
least,
fair,
he's-
but everyone
he's
kind of
familiar.
knows there's something up with this guy. For those of you who've got 2 successes, hi. Just by seeing his face, he's not on wanted posters or anything really melodramatic. However, you may have heard of he's kind of he's the occult dealer to things like mafia kingpins who want, you know, the lost treasure of Shaman Tep, or, you know, he'll rob graves on behalf of the Premier of China whenever he gets bored. But not only that, Sebastian Drachen is... Actually, no, it's unfair if I do this to give myself things. I will let Adam voice my hilarity. Because I might give a bias
You
opinion,
are
and I
aware
don't
that
want
the
to do that.
celestial chorus, or I should say that even the Hermetics have made this very clear amongst a lot of tradition circles, and it's drifted around, especially in Ireland, that this is a demon-blooded child that is extremely dangerous and has familial ties that one would not think to be reputable. Not only that, you know that you may have heard things that they may have surrounded themselves, and that they have artifacts of dark purposes.
Oh no, not that.
Ben, can I ask one question for that? Just for clarification on my part.
Mm-hmm.
Demon in the Christian sense or demon in the general mage sense? Or both?
Demon in the general mage sense.
General mage
Okay.
sense.
All right. Well.
And there's a
That's
lot
a little-
of controversy within the celestial chorus about this person.
Alrighty. Well, that's a little unsettling, but not the biggest deal to Yuki. She produces a list Um, there's some interesting things on there. Hawthorn, rosemary, lavender, belladonna, nightshade. Or I'm sorry, not nightshade. Wolfsbane.
He'll casually extend his hand, and you'll see him look down over the list, scanning it with very, very acute eyes, you know, those kind of bright, shining eyes. And he'll say, at least 2 of the items on this list are highly poisonous.
Yes, that's the intention.
Oh, so you want to kill someone? I can think of better ways.
I don't necessarily need to kill someone, but I need to have the option of making things very painful for them for a while.
Oh. Very well then. I'm happy to supply you with these little items and objects. It's not a problem. I was just about to make some of my guests tea. Would you care for some tea?
I wouldn't want to intrude.
He'll extend his hand to the other lady who entered the shop now, and he'll say, good afternoon.
Also, Ben, you're being addressed right now.
Sorry, I'm slightly distracted.
Sorry.
No worries.
Let me address the thing going on in the text chat first. 6 or higher? What?
As in, if your character, I just was asking if your character has a mind shield active.
Yes.
Is it like 6? When we do mind shields, it's not just you have a mind shield; it's how potent of a mind shield is it. If you're using what I think you're using, the answer is probably yes. If you're using something else or under your own power, probably not. But if it's what I think it is,
I'm using a device.
Then yes, you have it. It's definitely, that's a 10.
Okay. Now, the other things.
Oh, yes. You had spirit sight up. Okay. For a start, this chap's aura blazes with inhuman clarity. Like, as in, it blazes incredibly bright with primal energy, like Hornelli, levels of Hornelli.
Okay.
But it also appears to be. I'm trying to think. It describes it as really badly in the actual flaw. It doesn't actually describe it very well. It appears to be odd. It pulses with black, malignant kind of lightning that seems to flick around it.
That almost sounds like void taint.
And it looks like it's stained, like as if it's a stain on his signature. And it you know that's just, it's really bad. It's an essence that's very corroding, as the best term to use. It looks like there's almost like a disease on his metaphysical signature.
Okay. So she's just watching and listening at the moment, not saying anything, unless she's directly.
I was going to say he extended his hand and welcomed her to say hello.
Okay. Then she will. Is he looking all over her or at anything in specific?
He's just looking at her in the face, like in the eyes.
One eye is noticeably bluer than the other.
Okay. But
like it's almost an electric blue.
He basically greeted her and welcomed her. So, he was like, good afternoon, and how can I help you? And he extended his hand to shake hers.
Thank you. I'm new to the area.
Do you accept the handshake or do you not?
Yeah, she'll accept she'll accept the handshake.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Both of you. Where are my manners? My name is, well, I suppose if we're going to be formal, my name is Dr. Draken. It's very nice to meet you.
A doctor? What specialty?
He contemplates. I suppose you could say my nearest equivalent would be archaeology or anthropology.
Ah. You can call me L, but my specialty is in robotics.
I see. Very interesting. And I was just about to take tea with some of my other clients. You're both more than welcome to join us if you should like.
She'll look over at the other lady present.
That's acceptable to me.
She nods in agreement.
He will turn on his heel and he will walk you through the hilarious different. Basically, the bookshelves, as I said, are really odd. So you'll walk 5 meters in one direction, then there'll be a sharp right angle, then you'll walk another 2 meters along that, then there'll be another sharp right angle. So it's literally almost like you're walking along a pattern.
So, in other words, this is a nexus of L space. Got it.
The way I describe it is, if you were to look at it from above, it probably would look similar to think like Full Metal Alchemist transmutation circle.
Neat.
Cool.
Quick question to Heather. Does Yuki have a mind shield? And if so, is it at least 6 points or higher?
She does not have a 6-point or higher mind shield on. No.
Okay. Then you will not see Eric when you get to the group. However, for Ben, you'll have that telltale. He looks kind of fuzzy, meaning he's doing something to stay out of sight, but not working on you.
She'll glance in his direction when she sees him, but otherwise not really look.
Eventually, you'll wend and twist your way into this. He'll basically reassemble the group. So as they can all be brought in together as they find their way to the center. He'll make his way into the center of the great morass of books, into the center of the library proper, which forms, you will notice, interestingly enough, a perfect circle. As in, you're pretty sure if you got a compass out and measured, it would be 360 degrees around exactly. It appears to have been done very meticulously to create that. In the center of the circle, you will find a kind of a quote-unquote, not an office, that's wrong, but you'll find a number of very comfortable chairs that are clearly designed for people who wish to read the books whilst amidst the books, at which point he will very calmly take a seat in one of the high-backed chairs and kind of pent his fingers together. Please, sit down.
She'll take one of the offered seats.
Eric will grab one, which in doing so, since he's moving one of the chairs, he'll appear. So you'll notice him probably. Like,
Yeah,
hey, when the hell did Eric get here?
You just see a man pop into the seat.
John will take the seat as well and put his little puzzle box on the arm of the chair.
Fucking Cenobites.
I know, right?
Yeah. Ryan, still in his police uniform, will actually opt to stand. One of those where sitting in a chair, especially a chair with armrests, is not exactly very good to do when you're in uniform. Mostly calls.
So, my apologies. I've been a terrible host. I offered tea. Would anyone care for any other refreshments?
Tea is more than enough for me.
Tea is sufficient.
Tea sounds fine to me.
Green, jasmine, chamomile, breakfast.
Earl Grey, please.
I have developed a craving for oolong.
Okay.
Assam, if you have it.
You'll see him you'll hear him hiss something under his breath that's in a language it sounds like a mixture between parcel tongue and the grinding of the world's plates together. I know that sounds really weird to exemplify. However, his eyes will flick open again after he does so, and he'll say, "The tea is on its way." So, I'm curious what you think of my little emporium.
Seems nice. A little dusty.
I really should hire a new cleaning lady, but I think the last one got eaten by the West Wing.
I'm sorry. Did you just say that the West Wing ate your former cleaning lady?
Yes.
So
There are many wards in this place and sources of energy. I would imagine that some of these items are more than a little hazardous if mishandled, and in some cases simply by being near them.
You're not incorrect. I keep them here because, in theory, if others were to possess them, it could mean, well, calamity.
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 What kind of calamity?
Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry, your name was?
Yuki.
Konnichiwa, Yuki-san. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen the demon that is greed lurk behind a man's eyes?
Yes.
Yuki.
Oh, wait, sorry, that wasn't to him, so he doesn't say anything.
Does he actually speak Japanese, Evan?
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yuki will look at him and just say, "I have seen the demon that is greed in person," in Japanese.
Oh, interesting. Well, so allow me to ask you this question. When man is faced with the opportunity for power, even if it is power that will come at a terrible price, why is it that man will always wrap his hands around what he cannot control?
She'll think about that for a moment and say, desperation?
Possibly. Either that or it is the need to socially dominate his fellows, to stand atop them, to essentially crown himself some kind of pseudo-king. Ultimately, humanity is its own self-fulfilling prophecy. Man will always reach for what he is unwilling to comprehend and what he cannot understand.
I see.
For example, there are things in this place, many things in this place. You know how to phrase this? Some of you people, well, you people sounds wrong. He raises his hands and he does air bunny quotes of the pseudo population of this city of beings who believe themselves to be awakened to a new level, carry around little tricks, little tools, you can call them wonders, you can call them devices, you can call them fetishes, you can call them any of the above. However, those are generally helpful, nice tools that let you do a cool, funky thing. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people who made those made them with made those particular ones as a test batch for the dark, the horrible, the depraved things that can shatter a mind, rend apart a soul, and knock you down to your base elements in the blink of an eye.
Kind of feel the walls begin to almost move and shudder.
Okay. That would be a calamity.
So basically that's what I do. Admittedly, I make sure that certain things go to certain people, but ultimately I keep all the things that can do real damage so they don't fall into the hands of those who would use them to cause real damage.
And those who order tea will see some come into the room from the door, their beverages floating upon some kind of black mist.
Tea?
Is that mist showing up to prime sight?
Absolutely. And it feels as though it feels burdened. That's the best way I can describe the resonance of the effect.
On the bright side, Benjamin, Ben, you have returned. The tea has arrived.
Yay!
And
Being-
and you will see it being transported to you in your lap by a strange connected metaphysical entity that you can see as this black puff of mist in the material world. You would consider it a dimensional anomaly, that it's actually breaking through the gauntlet.
Thank you. She takes the tea and just sips it as if this is not the weirdest shit she's ever seen. It's not.
Mhm. He will raise his own teacup and take a sip before he leaves the tea down on the table.
The mist will in fact begin to just pool on the floor and cloak your shoes over time.
Which Brian will take his tea. Wouldn't the best thing to do with items that can cause great calamity be to either lock them in a way in a very secure facility, much more secure than this, where no one can get to it, or destroy it?
Funny thing about prophecy, and funny things about things of great power, is that A, they're very, very difficult to destroy. I mean, hilariously difficult to destroy. You know how Frodo had to bring the One Ring to Mordor levels of difficult to destroy? Well, imagine that times 5.
Yes, that's a good start.
And as for secure locations, well, ultimately, I'm not bothered here. People tend to believe the propaganda that's spread about me. He'll shrug. So, apparently I eat babies for breakfast and, rend their souls apart for lunch. So, it tends to suit my purposes.
Oh, I very much doubt anyone other than the choristers would actually believe that.
The choristers don't believe that. It's the Order of Hermes who believe that.
At the mention of the Hermetic Order, she actually snorts as if half in laughter, half in derision.
Mm-hmm. But then again, what the Order of Hermes don't know could fill a library. As a matter of fact, please see the West Wing.
You hear the mist whisper.
Yes. Yes, dear. You will pat the mist. You know what? He's going to infuse a point of quintessence into the remainder of his tea, and he's going to leave it down for the mist. Just be like, here you go. Drink up, buddy.
Okay, the patch of mist actually begins to grow a little bit, and now is covering up your ankles.
There we go. He will say, ultimately, it's all a matter of belief. People believe things, so it is that there is the causality and the knock-on effect of their belief. He'll shrug. It's often better to lead with lies and misdirection when it comes to wanting to keep things safe, but so far no one's attempted to take anything, and I assure you, my home is quite well defended. For example, he looks around. I don't know if you could have found this central point if I didn't lead you. It tends to change. But hey, I guess that's where we are on a given Tuesday.
She sips her tea and then looks into the middle distance. It sounds more as if you're trying to keep things from getting out than getting in.
That's also apt. The other sideline about being the custodian of these things is understanding the fact that they bear immense weight and making sure that that weight doesn't try and smash its way out, taking me and other things with it in the process. But hey, in the end, we all soldier on.
You you acquire things for different people, as I understand it. I've seen some of the items. He nods towards the puzzle box. Are there any of a slightly less... He pauses like he's not sure how to phrase this. Do you occasionally run across, what would the appropriate term be, servitors?
Blink, 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 blink.
Essentially, what Solon's trying to describe is...
Out of character, everyone knows what you're trying to describe. It's just out of character going over his head. In character, sorry, it's going over his head.
He'll rephrase then. Tutelary spirits, I suppose you might call them. Companions.
Oh, yes. There are many of them. You just have to know how to talk to them. When you said servitors, I honestly thought you meant golems.
No, though those are interesting.
Mm-hmm. I have half of an Atlantean golem. I really have to get to fixing that. It's on my to-do list.
Some of the paintings within the room seem like they're sizing you up.
What, they're sizing Eric up now?
Everyone, they're sizing everyone.
I've come to a horrible realization. I live in a mixture between Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and the Imaginatorium of Dr. Parnassus.
Exactly.
Oh, Christ. It's okay.
You did this on yourself.
I did, it's fine. But he'll shrug as, he'll say to Eric, "Why, did you want me to acquire something for you?"
Potentially, it's one possible avenue.
He'll shrug.
I wouldn't want to promise a purchase just yet. Perhaps later we can discuss details. Do you have a means for someone, a potential customer, to get a hold of you other than showing up here in person?
He will remove a card from inside the fold of his coat and flick it over to Eric that has a cell phone number on it.
Excellent, thank you.
No worries.
And he goes quiet again.
Who would be the yes, Jewel. You will feel a sensation as something rubs against the back of your legs. As in something very physical. And then it will move on to the back of Hyun's legs.
Hyun will kind of look back behind him, a little bit surprised.
You will see a huge, and when I say huge, I mean holy Nelly levels of 20-foot long snake.
Oh. Hi, Snake.
Oh, I'd wonder where he got to.
Is he friendly?
Oh, yes.
Begins to look up and it sticks its tongue out towards your face.
His name is Typhon, if you want to pet him.
Hyun will just kind of gently hold his hand out to the snake, much like you would to a common dog or a cat.
It kind of opens its mouth wide and just kind of suddenly out of nowhere bursts its teeth open.
He'll slowly retract his hand from the snake.
then all of a sudden, the snake will kind of go, and then just almost look kind of. It's weird. It almost looks a little bit bored, and then just kind of, or almost no, not bored. Disappointed would be the better word, and then just kind of slithers, just kind of. You feel it rub past your feet, and it will kind of start to encircle Sebastian.
He'll sit there casually still, with his teacup in hand, and he'll say, Typhon is exceedingly rare, like most of the things here. I'm led to understand that there are only 7 or 8 basilisks left in the world. He's still only a baby, of course.
I feel like I should know what that is.
Basilisk?
Yeah,
Is that out of character you don't know what it is, or in character you don't know what it is?
that was in character.
Okay. He'll very casually kind of hold up a finger as in one moment, at which point he'll walk over to one of the bookshelves and kneel down. He's kind of... He picks up a large book that appears to be bound in green leather, and he'll walk back over with it, and he'll put it down in front of Hyun, and he'll say, "Yeah, take a read of this, and it might expand your horizons."
Jan will pop it open and start reading from it.
The book is called Professor Mylian Zingadoff's Guide to Reptilian Cryptoids.
What? It's not Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
God damn it! I am not Newt Scamander.
Not yet.
God damn it, Tiger. But he will shrug as he retakes his seat, and he'll say, "Honestly, it's interesting the fact that humanity thinks so many things are dead when they just stop looking." But yes, Mr. Elder, if you wish my assistance in the acquisition of in the project of an acquisition, I'm always happy to help.
I'll definitely keep it in mind. And he seems serious about that. He's not just like saying, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever."
So, my apologies, Dr. L, but you said your field was in robotics.
Yes.
Interesting.
Where does Tucker?
Wow, sorry, that just completely blew my mind. I was just like, oh, there's a Kim. Okay.
Sorry about that. I woke her up.
He'll say, interesting. I contemplate if your study is simply on modern robotics or also, shall we say, archaeological examples of the craft.
I am an innovator, not a study of the ancient past.
Interesting. I can see why that would be a step forward in the right direction. Though I have to admit, as I've said, I am fascinated by the concepts of things like the Atlantean premise, whereby every individual was supposed to have been served by one of their automated servants. Much similar to robotics, but perhaps taken from a different bent, you'll agree.
Of course. No reason why science can't take us in the same direction. Without the end point, of course.
Well, here's a question. Do you know why Atlantis sank?
Not my area of specialty, so no.
Would you be interested in the answer?
All knowledge is good.
As a matter of fact, it flared its head up here recently. Have any of you heard of the hang on, Evan has to remember what he called it. I think it was the Damocles clock. Yes, it was, because the sword of Damocles. Yep. Have any of you heard of the Damocles clock?
It sounds familiar.
Quick question. When Eric had his chance to go over with Siren about all recent events, that would have definitely featured, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just wanted to make sure. He's not going to
Would there be a role to know about it?
Not really. It's been kept incredibly hush-hush.
Okay.
Mostly because those who knew really didn't want it getting out.
Damocles clock. That sounds like something foreboding of doom.
Not wrong. It was a clock that was designed via a series of ancient magi in order to literally tear down the linear walls of time.
For what purpose?
Well, there would be no past, there would be no present, there would be no future. You would essentially merely wish to go where you could and experience the world unconfined by the confines of tomorrow or yesterday.
That sounds like destroying causality. It would make everything stop.
Essentially, yes, it would create ultimate stagnation.
That's not a good thing.
No. The Atlanteans believed similarly, which is why when the clock was about to be activated for the first time, fortunately, they didn't create a power supply that was powerful enough to actually end the effects, to count down to midnight, as it were. And the backlash that was sent out was so devastating it caused the city to sink. However, the clock survived, interestingly enough. It was split into 4 pieces. And then, of course, they gave it to the greatest people in the universe to guard, the Order of Hermes, who proceeded to
Greatest people in the universe.
Well, or so the Order of Hermes claim.
I'm sure they do, quite often and loudly.
Indeed.
And
So,
in every
the order-
possible language.
So the Order of
Listen, you
Hermes
can almost see
is
the Go on.
Oh no, continue, Adam. Sorry.
The silhouette of the snake begins to. You can kind of see it in the puff of mist that's still in the room, almost kind of feeling off of you, and the snake begins to almost kind of encircle and investigate you, Dr. L.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But where was I? Yes, the Order of Hermes were given the pieces of the clock. However, one of their masters decided to go rogue recently, apprehended the 3 pieces of the clock, and found a power source that could have powered it. Interestingly enough, he created.
Because of course they did.
To be fair, the methodology he devised in the creating of a power source was ingenious. Even the technocracy at the time were openly impressed because they said it was only theoretical. He literally created a star to power the clock.
What, like the sun?
Essentially, yes. Except much smaller.
That is impressive.
He nearly destroyed linear time as well. Have any of you ever heard of a phenomenon, or rather, a personage who goes by the name of Mr. Wrinkle?
No. Yes.
If any of you have one dot in spirit lore, yes. Yes, you have. And dear God, no, don't fuck with him.
I recall that name.
He was almost killed in the process when time was nearly destroyed. Because they did it rather ingeniously. They created a realm tied to the clock, which meant the realm was inherently out of time, as in out of sync with time, which meant that Wrinkle himself could not physically interact with it.
How long ago, and I know this is probably a very bad question to ask, but how long ago did this happen?
Shortly before Christmas.
Ah.
I always figured if someone was going to end up stopping the wheel with raw magic and little thought about the consequences of their actions, it would be the technocracy. But no, apparently it was the Order of Hermes.
Shrug.
Which Ryan will actually turn and look at Yuki. And it's almost just that stare of she said something that offended him.
Actually, Eric's going to say, even the technocracy would not want to simply stop time. They, after all, are adamant about requiring progress. You can't progress if time doesn't exist.
Yes, that's true. But again, I said raw magic and little thought to the consequences of their actions. I don't think they would intend to stop time, but that could be an unintended side effect of something they do.
Dr. L just sips her tea quietly.
He'll shrug and he'll
Everything
say,
technocracy does has calculated risk. There's risk matrices for everything. Anything that has a risk of completely stopping time, completely stopping everything, even if the chance was insignificantly small, the risk of something that great is large enough that it wouldn't be worth the risk to attempt.
ultimately, the Technocratic Union value progress. The unfortunate thing is that sometimes they have come to value progress above the lives of the people whom they claim to wish to provide a better life for. Sometimes it is better so that people can live in the now in happiness rather than live in the future in misery. But then again, the traditions are also guilty of their own incredible hubris.
The snake will speak to you, Evan.
Hmm.
Do those like you always speak like this, and you will only hear this?
He'll shrug, and he'll say, once again, through the quote-unquote telepathic link that you share with your familiar, he'll say, many of them do. And they all have their different ethical and philosophical divides that seem to define them as entities.
Disappointing. And he just kind of continues to slither on.
No doubt. He'll say, the Technocratic Union have provided humanity with great benefices. For example, many of the diseases that have been eliminated in the modern era have been done so on the technocratic timetable. For example, the world no longer has to fear smallpox because the technocracy practically eradicated it when they gave man the inoculation for its foul pestilence, and now that disease has been wiped out. However, they also take away governmental control. They manipulate free will. So you have to constitute the trade-off between health and the ability to, between the health on one hand and the ability to decide your own destiny on the other.
I have an interesting question. If free will can be manipulated, is it actually free will?
He'll contemplate and he'll say, yes. Because it was mandated that we would have free will.
She'll nod and accept the answer.
Ultimately, the ability to take something does not decrease the ability to have something. Anything can be stolen. However, it is much more valuable when something is given.
Ian just kind of eyes the puzzle box for a second before going back to the book.
You really want to open that, don't you?
I do.
If you do, you can roll intelligence and enigmas. Difficulty 8.
No, I can't because I don't have enigmas.
So then it's just you wish you could.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it always struck me as one of those things that should have been a skill, not a knowledge. Because I mean, even if you're shit at riddles, you might occasionally know the answer to a riddle.
That's fair.
By the way,
Does it look like?
oh, sorry. Continue, Solon.
I was gonna say, is he actively like poking at the thing, trying to figure out how to open it?
He was stroking it a little while ago, but yeah, now he's kind of like looking at it. Occasionally, he'll poke it on the side.
And Eric, when he was petting it, it's the box's prime signature was seeping into Hyun's.
Yay!
Because he should actually look at this, or know this, so he can give some advice. What is the actual writing? Like, what kind of script is written on the box?
The actual script that's written on the box.
As in, like, what language is it written in?
It seems to be some kind of script from some kind of region from southern Mediterranean. It just seems it's pretty ancient and old, by at least Draken standards. Like primordial kind of language.
Could I perhaps do like an academics roll to try and figure out what it is?
Do you have a cult?
Nope.
Then you can't. Sorry. You need.
Could I Google it?
Cult or esoterica?
I have esoterica.
Okay. Well, how many dots?
2.
Oh, go ahead and roll.
Intelligence, I'm assuming.
Intelligence difficulty 8.
Got 1 success.
Images begin to form in your mind, and you recognize the language, and that it probably came somewhere from Romania. Has similar scripts to the languages that are.
God damn it, Solon, you leave my dad out of this. I don't know. As I said, we all walk a different path, but then again, I have nothing against the Technocratic Union, other than the fact that, I'm a reality deviant by their standards, so, yeah. But then again, I feel as though in order to create any kind of balance, you need to be able to accept the flows of others as opposed to simply counteracting and countermanding them. There is no inherent perfection. There is only the individual opinion of perfection.
However, the attempt to reach perfection has its own merits.
Possibly. One could easily determine perfection as being better because it is unattainable. It always gives you something to strive for as opposed to ultimately giving you meaningless success.
And of course, such journeys are always best undertaken with friends.
Yes.
Eric's gonna just have this moment where he's like thinking, like stroking his chin, just like, scratches the goatee momentarily. Should I? So he looks over at Jewel. Because I know he's met her before on the Seven Sins arc.
Mm-hmm.
You are of the... He knows the older name, not the newer name. So, old edition Euthanatos, right?
Correct. I am of the Euthanatos.
And he looks over at their host. Like, basically the finger moves towards the host, not rudely pointing so much as next person. Unaffiliated or...
He is largely unknown to me, except by rumor and reputation.
I assure you it's all lies except for what's true.
So, Evan, he doesn't seem likely to answer.
Oh, what were you actually asking him? Sorry, I was looking away at something.
He's basically throwing cards on the table like, hey, people, what tradition or disparate do you belong to, since we're having this conversation?
Oh, he'll say, in theory, I was many things. I was, I practice a style of magic that is definitely hermetic. However, I'm not.
So unaffiliated, more or less.
Technically, I'm a member of the Hollow Ones.
Makes a note to introduce this guy to Gravedigger. And Evan's like, no. Looks over towards Hyun. Finger pointing towards Hyun now.
I don't know what the options are, so I'm gonna go with unaffiliated for now.
Kind of an eyebrow raise, but all right. And over towards Dr. L.
I don't have anyone I'm with.
His eyebrows are receding into the hairline now.
The hairline is also receding.
Well, yes, but that's irrelevant.
My
Also,
hair is in full retreat.
I am activating something, so if anyone wants to make an awareness roll, I am activating a fourth effect. Does that increase the difficulty by 1?
I will make that awareness roll.
Are you hanging the effect on yourself, or is it a general effect?
It is a... what is the word? It is a... It's an effect so that he'll be... It's the Entropy 1 thing, Ring of Truth.
Okay.
I think it would just be a general one first. It's not like it's just limited to just you. It's just kind of affecting the area.
Oh, jeez, that was a botch on my part.
What magic?
What is magic?
You know what, Yuki? You're not even sure if...
Nope, simple failure.
Okay.
I think.
Yuki,
No, it's one success.
Okay, I think I got enough successes to pull it off with the first roll, so...
You're a bit confused as to what's happening to you and where you are because you're not sure if anything here is magical.
Oh boy, that's
a fun botch.
Or disconcerting.
Nausea.
I got exactly one success.
Okay, now to be fair, that effect was not activated when Dr. L answered, so I'm not going to be asked about that because I didn't get it ahead of time. However, one person he hasn't asked in the room yet, the person who first brought up the word reality deviance, he's pointed over towards Ryan now.
Since I do realize that I am in a room full of unaffiliated, I assume you'll answer the question in return yourself.
Oh, certainly.
Let's go with X. And we'll keep it at that.
Oh, I would have backed with myself.
All right. He's just going to dismiss the Ring of Truth effect, but I assume no lie there, right?
Nope, he was telling.
Because I mean, it was technically not even an answer. It was like, oh hey, you can call it X, which you can call it anything. So whatever. Okay. All right. I will be making some rolls, so I'm not even going to ask people to roll. Just assume he's doing things for the next round or two while conversation continues. Oh, and since he did say he was going to answer the question, virtual adept, and then sits back and focuses.
Aren't you a little old to be playing with computers?
I prefer Pong.
Oh, wonderful.
Ding ding, Sebastian, your ward to determine that someone's entered a new person's entered the shop is wrong.
Oh, he'll stand up and say, "Will you excuse me? I appear to have a new customer. I'll be back momentarily."
What if we don't excuse you?
Then I'll have the snake eat you.
Oh, okay, I guess you can go then.
And the snake starts to look at you and almost like just kind of lean its head on one of the on the desk in the room, just kind of looking forward to a meal.
I don't think that'd be very good for your snake, but I guess you can go.
He'll smile, clearly joking as he departs.
You should let him know I have a diet of all kinds.
He will send back to the psychic link. Yes, however, I sense that amount of metal might even clog up your digestion.
You underestimate me.
That's one deal determined snake.
Solon, what are you actually doing?
I was trying to set up something that should have taken 2 rounds to do, but apparently the dice roller wants to give me a 1
What are you doing?
every single roll. I was setting up a telepathic connection between myself and our host.
Wait, you're gonna have to roll willpower for that. Like his willpower.
Nope,
is
because it's not hostile. It is something he has to choose to let in. I'm not trying to force my way in. If he has any kind of shields or anything, it will not affect me because I'm not making it hostile. So I'm not rolling against his willpower because he's not having to resist it.
No, actually, the way it works is if he's not willing to resist, it's just that you would still roll at his willpower, but you wouldn't be rolling at his willpower +3. But you know what? Since you're just for now, we'll just leave it as it is. Since it's done.
Difficulty in this case, anyways, probably.
You feel a tap, Sebastian, on your as you're leaving. You feel a tap on your brain connection. One minute come in.
He will, as he's walking, he will casually open the door.
You open the door to your shop, and you see.
No. As in, he's opening the door to his mind, so that he can be tapped.
He's opening the door. So, Solon.
Okay, and I'll message you with that.
Okay, he's going to walk to the door of his shop now as he's being messaged.
So I guess while you're doing that, Ryan will look to Eric. Do you remember why the virtual adepts left the conventions?
I wasn't there personally for it, if that's what you're asking.
No, but you might have, may not necessarily have first-hand experience, but second-hand, because it has been since 1956, so 62 years. As you know, Dr. L has said, any information is good information.
I'm not going to stop you.
Well, do you happen to have stories of why they left? Because you probably know the people who did, or might have met them.
Not that I share in mixed company.
Perhaps another time.
Perhaps.
So yes, he will make it to the door. Huzzah. Door.
Okay, so you make it to the door. In the front kind of common area, you will see the visual pictured before you. This woman seems to be around 5'5". She has a kind of a peculiar outfit on, of a style that's kind of like, the neck seems like it's kind of English Victorian, but the bodysuit that she has on is kind of it's like a suit and it's not. You're not really sure what kind of clothes. You've never seen this kind of fashion before, but it's definitely a blend of styles from Europe. She wears black eyeliner and all that good stuff, and she seems to be perusing a jar and looking at. It has like some kind of atrophied heart within it that's tied up to the top, the underlid of the jar. It just seems to be like almost staring at it and looking at it. And I've been looking upon this person. I'm going to send you something.
While this is all going on, I'm going to be right back because I'm really freaking hungry.
Go ahead. So I sent you a message on Facebook. And she's kind of looking at it and looks at Sebastian and goes, Grave Archon of Thought. It's good to see you. I didn't expect you here. She almost looks upon you and she has her hand over her mouth. And almost looks stunned, looking upon you.
What was it she called me?
Grave Archon of Thought.
Would there be a rule?
Not yet.
He will very casually contemplate that for a second. He'll say, I've been called many things. That's admittedly a new one.
Well, I would think you would be called that all the time. I'm sure the other entities of, well, this prison that are trapped here too would... I'm sorry, I'm speaking out of turn. I was wondering if you may have had something very personal to me. She kind of almost rubs her hands as if like she's kind of nervous, but also as if she's kind of scanning you and eyeing you up and down.
He'll contemplate as he quirks his head to the side, and he'll say, and what might it be that I have?
It was my mother's. From the days of old. She gave it to Queen Cleopatra, and it basically allowed her to see those that were on high above. They were taking care of us. But has something happened to you since then? Is it gone? I mean, you look damaged.
He'll contemplate and he'll say, can you describe the item to me? What does it look like?
It's like, and she kind of like leans like next to you and like tries to like form a circle out of her two fingers, and she said, it looks like this. Roll me your willpower.
Duh. Okay. Discord is being really weird and not wanting to load for me. Does somebody mind running these for me?
What do you need?
I need to check my willpower first, right?
No, no roll.
Relatively good willpower, I think.
What's the difficulty? While he's looking up the actual willpower.
The difficulty is going to be... let me just double check something within the book. Sorry. Roll me your not your willpower. Roll me your perception awareness difficulty 6.
Okay, let me know what the pool is, and I'll roll it for you.
No worries. Is this site-based?
No. I'm going to say no on this one.
Okay, cool. Just because he has a specialty that would apply if it was site-based. Awareness 2. And a perception 4. So 6.
Pool of 6.
Yeesh.
Successes.
Okay.
What was that total?
I rolled 6 dice at difficulty 6 and came up with 0 successes.
Well, poo.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So, okay. Evan.
Mhm.
Reality kind of ripples a little bit. And your awareness, not your sight, but your awareness itself begins to change. And the girl next to you is holding a spherical disc in between her fingers. And it's almost like this projection that she's projecting with these strange carbon fiber systems that are within her bones. And it's the spherical disc with a center point on it. And Sebastian, you know, and I'm saying it this way for a reason. Sebastian, you know exactly what this is. This was the ancient This was an ancient necklace given to by Cleopatra from beings unrecognizable to man, and it was absolutely inherited by this individual before you.
Okay.
I'm back.
As his perception starts to go slightly odd, can he use the Mind Sphere to reinforce his own perception of reality?
Yes, you can. Would be with this.
Actually, no, it's Sebastian. Can he use this to force her perception of reality back onto her?
We're going to say it's a Mind 4 effect.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
The difficulty of this roll, since you're going to be targeting their willpower, standard is difficulty 8.
That's fine. Solon, would you mind being my dice really quick second?
Sure.
Okay, so it's going to be 4
How are you
dice.
doing this, accomplishing this effect?
He will basically, ironically, he's going to use, because he's trying to do this as an adverse effect to her, because that's why he phrased it the way he is. It'll be at a -2 diff. At which point he will basically concentrate on the concept of, oh dear creature, you think that you can mess with my skull. I've walked among gods and seen the excess of man. And he's basically going to draw on his malefical nature in order to force her back off, as the various different primal marks over his body will glow with a sickly green light.
Okay. What's the dice pool?
Oh Jesus, if you people have spirit, it's about to get really weird in here.
Let me know the dice pool.
Oh, sorry, the dice pool is going to be 4. It's going to be, if it was difficult, it's going to be -2 plus using a foci, which will drop it to 5. And I'm going to spend this. Sweet willpower.
It's going to get really weird in here, like it isn't already.
No, as in demonically weird in here.
5 successes with willpower.
Okay. Hi, Adam. 5 successes with willpower.
Okay. She kind of does that, and she kind of it kind of looks like there's this look of strangeness on her, and she says, "Well, So basically, you're throwing her own delusions back on her, right?
And intensifying them.
And she'll, oh, okay.
He's that bitch. You stay the fuck out of my head. I'm gonna fucking wreck what's left of yours.
And then she looks at you, and she says, "Oh my God, what did they do to you? They took a piece of something out of you." Roll me initiative.
Hooray!
By the way, before that went off, I actually managed to drop off a mind shield. You're welcome. Oh,
You
wait.
gave him a mind shield?
You already
I
had
was
a
going to. I was going to. Wait, if you already had a mind shield, you wouldn't have been rolling this.
No worries. I need to check my.
It's a good
Can you
thing
roll me
we
one
bought that
d10,
low.
Solon, and add 10 to it for me?
1d10.
You know what's great when you have both the better body and enhanced mind roads?
What are we adding to it?
A plus 10.
All right, you were at initiative 15.
She's a 12. So, you go first.
I will point out, because whenever he has to draw on his whole malefic nature, Oscar's the only one who has spirit side up now, I think.
Alex got spirit sight.
I don't know if anyone else has spirit side up. Or prime side.
I've got prime sight, but I'm not standing there.
No, but I'm pointing out that it's like a beacon of shining, brilliantly litness.
Oh, so that's the exit sign telling me that I need to go back to the entrance.
I'm not the page master, Solon, for Christ's sake.
You say that.
But, for those who have spirit sight, you'll literally see a flare of bright green energy pierce into the umbra. It'll probably scare the shit out of every spirit around it.
Yeah, all the spirits, like that black mist begins to immediately go away, and you also see the snake beginning to slither its way out of the room.
Also, I'm on initiative 14.
Okay.
Because my character has noticed there's interference and now sees that, and he's going to the front.
Would I sense the commotion considering the battlefield sense?
It's only the correspondence 1 effect, right?
Right.
You wouldn't be able to particularly notice quite just yet. You may have heard just like a raised voice. And Eric has initiative 14.
Yep.
So, I'll get it.
Dr. L is
Ready.
just going to watch the fucking show.
I'll at least get the initiative ready.
Funny you should mention that, actually.
Okay. Monsieur, what are you gonna do? What do you do? It's your turn. This woman kind of looks horrified, and she almost begins to seems to be reaching for something in her backside.
She's gonna pull something out of her ass.
Literally and metaphorically. He extends his hands outwards, and basically you'll see him move as he hisses commands. You will see lightning drawn from the sockets, from the light fixtures, etc., be drawn to his hands and start to crackle around it.
Okay. I'm assuming you're directing lightning, electrical energy at her.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be forces.
Is this something that Dr. L can see happening?
No, because you're in the other room.
You will start to see the lights flicker, however.
Okay.
You'll see that. This is not sanctum, correct?
Beg your pardon?
This is the front of the shop. This is not a sanctum, correct?
Correct. He'll happily take the paradox.
Yep. So this will be vulgar without witnesses. So
Yep,
that'll
that's
be
fine. The sanctum is at the center of the shop where they were previously.
Yep. So difficulty 6. That's standard diff, and you're going to need 2 successes or more.
That's fine. Solon, would you mind rolling me the same? Well, difficulty 5 minus 2 from me actively trying to hurt another person, So it'll be difficulty 3. Someone can roll me my 4 dice, please.
3 successes.
3 successes?
Unless you put willpower in or something.
No, it's fine. He will release with the 3 successes.
Okay, interesting. So you got the 3 plus 1, so you did 4 dice of that. So you did 4 dice worth of aggravated damage, as in 8 points of aggravated damage.
Yeah.
Yep. So she is going to attempt to counter that. But some other things might happen. She is going to kind of take her hand out, and her mouth and jaw will open back, revealing a strange, and almost this. Not only her mouth, but her stomach will open and reveal this like voidic depth, and she'll try to ingest the lightning. She'll attempt to ingest the lightning, and as that's happening, you can see objects in the room begin to move, and let's say the paneling of the room begins to seep through strange codes and alien sounds. Which only counters.
Walking up the little door.
She takes two of his successes. So your attack, while not as potent, still deals her a significant blow. And she takes 4 levels of aggravated damage.
And is it now initiative 14?
Yes. So that means it is your turn, Eric.
All right. I am using my device, Data 4, Group Transport. I am burning a willpower and burning two of my devices.
Where's the connection? Where are you making the connection to?
From where we are right now to the other end of my mental connection. Code-to-code transfer.
The other end of your connection, what do you mean?
As in my connection through telepathic link.
Oh, to where?
To the front of the shop.
To the front of the shop. Okay.
And it's going to take more than 1 round, though, so...
Since you're doing this in his sanctum, this will be vulgar. Would you say, Evan, that is without witnesses?
They're all awakened, so...
Oh, there's Evan.
Sorry about that.
So that would
How
be...
many of my successes did you manage to eat?
She managed to eat 2.
So it's still 4 levels, I believe?
So she still got 4... No, because of the way the damage chart works, she would have taken 2 levels of ag.
That's fair. Oh, yes, because the first... Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, Eric's turn. He's going to be opening up a portal to nearby where you are. So that'll be vulgar without...
I'll describe it once I actually get enough successes.
Vulgar without witnesses, difficulty 4 plus 4 plus 4. That's difficulty 8. You're going to need at least...
It's going to be diff 6, actually, because of the quintessence I'm spending.
Okay, and let me bring out...
And I am burning the willpower, so...
You're burning willpower. You're going to need...
It needs at least 4 successes to kick off at all.
Again, 4 successes. That's what I was about to say. So,
and then plus 1 for each additional person I'm bringing.
But doesn't it take 2 minutes per roll with the way data works?
Nope. That's when you're trying to locate someone.
That's when you're trying to locate someone. Fair enough.
Okay,
4 successes.
Roll. And I have 4 successes right now, but that just means I could kick it off and take myself. I need to take other people, so it's going to be next round that it kicks off.
All right, and make sure to mark yourself a point of paradox. Okay. So the rest of everyone else in the room, I'm sorry, Kim, that I know we haven't. I'll give you a chance to intro soon, if you want. Eric. This old man suddenly conjures forth.
No. Like I said, I'll describe it when he actually kicks it off. Right now, nothing's happening.
Right now,
sorry.
Fair enough. Okay. So as far as to you guys, nothing what's happening at the moment. So Sebastian, it's your turn once again.
Did she not take an action?
That was her action to counter you.
All right, excellent. Let's keep this up. I'm going to keep unlimited powering her. I will take
Unlimited power.
I'll take the extra point of paradox.
Yep.
Um.
So you took one, so if you're doing another vulgar effect, that'll be 2.
Yep, that's fine. I'm gonna have my snake eat this. So what's wrong? What could possibly go wrong? So yeah, he's going to. Solon, can you roll me the same dice pool again? Difficulty 3, and I'm gonna spend a willpower this time because die.
That would be 4 successes.
So that's 5 successes with the forces.
5 successes with the forces. Let me just see the roll here.
That's 4 successes plus 1 because it's forces, so 5 successes too.
Yeah, so 5 successes. Oh shit. Because you spend a willpower, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 4 plus 5. Take that. So as you begin to conjure forth this massive amount of energy from the electrical sockets, everyone else in the other rooms, the lights sometimes go out periodically completely, and they blink several times throughout the course of 6 seconds, and bam! Evan, this woman takes quite the smackdown of a hit, and she gets thrown back into the other half of into the front part of the shop, and actually gets kicked outside one of the windows, and several pieces of furniture have been thrown a toss. Several items at the front break and shatters. A piece of goo begins to almost kind of slime out and crawl around the floor. And you can almost be fairly confident that if that didn't kill her, well...
If that didn't kill her, I need a bigger train to hit her with.
Pretty much.
You need to suplex a train on her.
And you guys would hear a massive of a lightning bolt.
Oh, by the way, every time the lights flicker off, if anyone is looking in Dr. L's direction, they see one blue light in the darkness. And when the lights go out completely for a little bit, they see that one blue light just kind of sitting there about where her head should be.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Does that dispense with initiative then if she was kicked outside?
Sorry?
Does that end initiative if she was kicked outside, or is
If she's
initiative
kicked outside, initiative is over.
Okay, in that case, I will finish up my roll.
Okay.
And fortunately, I did burn a willpower on that, so that is no successes.
And this is... No, you would get 1. Because you burnt a willpower, you get at least 1 success for what you were doing. And this is to continue the effect?
Well, yes, I would get 1 success, but wouldn't the 1 take away that success?
We rule it as though the ones don't take.
No, you get...
generated by willpower.
Yeah, if you botched, you succeed no matter what because you spent the willpower.
Okay.
That's how it works.
In that case, it's enough to drag 2 people. Is anyone going to immediately get up and deal with the noise, or are people still sitting down? It's important to ask.
Ryan had never sat down for the tea, and pretty much right as the scuffle started, I had rolled the initiative. Because
I didn't see that you rolled initiative.
Yeah, because he was going to be taking off in a deadbolt sprint that way.
Well, we'll say this. By the time you reach the front of the shop, the place is immense. You see burn marks and a window that's been cracked open. And Kim, are you going to be playing a character in the scene?
She's already playing a character. She's playing the Witch King.
I think she's playing Total War 2 at the moment.
She's playing Total War 2? Okay, fair enough.
But Ben and Heather, are you guys getting up, or are you guys sitting?
Dr. L is sitting.
Yuki's gonna look at her. Then she's gonna head in the direction of the door.
Okay, in that case, that means there's only one person still seated since Hyun is not there effectively. I will kick off the effect, and it'll be myself and Dr. L. The description is basically, and I'm sorry to do this, Evan, the two chairs that they are seated in. Suddenly, the floor around them just kind of clicks, and they slowly descend into the floor, and wood paneling covers up where they were. And a couple seconds later, wood paneling in the front of the shop is going to click open. You hear something that sounds like a little bit of rumbling, and both recliners will come right up through the floor with them just sitting on them. At a nice sedate pace.
You'll probably see Sebastian like with electricity still arcing over his hands, or electricity arcing over his body as he's kind of flicking his hands to dissipate the charge.
And just to be clear, did you take yourself towards the front of the shop?
Yes, he's going to kind of casually walk that way, kind of flicking his hands.
Okay. And your snake also comes from the darkness and says, I see you've dealt with it.
I don't like interlopers at the best of times. He says this out loud in English. I especially don't like it when they decide to try and invade my mind and make me think things that I don't particularly want to think.
Who knows if she was even cognizant enough to even perform such an act, from what I saw.
He kind of folds up on the windowsill, like, and crouches on it, kind of really nimbly. And he looks down to see, is there a body there?
There is a body there. A good chunk of it has been burnt to ashes.
He kind of very casually turns to the people inside. So, I need some help and a few shovels.
Well, I wasn't doing anything tonight anyways.
See, this is friendship. I've known you for less than 10 minutes and you're helping me bury a body.
And the familiar says, I like her.
Yes. Yes, she can stay. Yes, we like her. He'll look at Dr. L. My snake likes you.
And the snake will look at you and just stick its tongue out.
So, at what point would I reach the front?
Yes, you would have. I already said you reached the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You're already there.
there's basically a dead person on the doorstep now. Yeah.
Technically, it's outside a window, but yes.
It's outside.
Okay.
The ironic part, Ryan, is that by the time you get to the front, you see the two chairs are already sitting there.
Yuki is going to go outside and examine the body.
Okay. Roll me a perception and investigation check.
Evan's snorting because he knows. I don't have investigation. Could I use medicine?
If you want to do that, sure. You can.
I mean, she's not like turning out pockets or anything. She's just like making sure that this person is actually dead before we try to bury them in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
I should hope they're dead. I burned half of them away.
So intelligence medicine or what's medicine?
Intelligence medicine difficulty 3.
Okay.
Well, that's happening. Take a look.
Okay. That's 5 successes.
This person has been hit with a massive amount of electricity, incinerating the left part of their abdomen. Their blood vessels have been burnt. Their body is completely scarred with electrical scars and burns, and it is completely unrecognizable, and portions of her clothes are burning.
Like
She's dead.
actively burning?
A little bit, yeah. They're dead.
Okay, well, the first thing that that Yuki's going to do is kind of smother the burning parts of the clothes. And then she will take 2 copper coins and put them under the woman's tongue. And she will say a prayer to Radamanthus for
As you're putting them
judgment.
as you're putting them under the tongue, you'll notice that underneath the tongue there's almost a kind of void. And when you pull it up, several items begin to spew forth from her mouth. Coins, necklaces, various different pieces of tissues that have kisses on them. Yeah. Like lipstick stains on them. Boxes, artifacts, a strange show stone, spherical stone-like object. And this all kind of just begins to pour out of her mouth. And several journals.
When that happens, Dr. L is going to pull out what looks like a smartphone. And she kind of aims the device at it. And this is going to use 2 different spheres for this, because this is going to be scanning if a soul is present and where it has been recently.
Say that one more time.
If a soul is present, so spirit, and where it's been recently, which is going to be data.
Okay.
So what's my rolls?
So what data? So what? So that would be. So that you're trying to see a spirit or soul. That's going to be spirit 1. You're attempting to see if one's been here recently. Would that be more time?
I'm seeing where the soul that is supposed to be with that body has been very recently.
That would require time, though, to figure out where it's been. Unless you mean, like, resonance traces of it's been to Helen.
Resonance traces, if you're looking for resonance, you also want to be adding prime to that.
I don't think I have prime. Let me check. I do not have prime.
So unfortunately, you will not be able to detect specific resonance signatures, but you can detect where the soul is. I'm trying to understand where it has been recently. Yeah, you would probably need time 2 for that. Although what I will say is you'll just need spirit. So diff 3 plus 1, so 4. And if you do
minus
it in
the use of the minus 1 for the use of the focus of the phone device.
Is it a normal focus or is it a personalized
It's
instrument?
a normal focus.
Then she won't receive a minus for that, unless she takes an extra turn for a minus.
Okay, I thought it was a unique focus. I'll be quiet then.
No, this isn't the data pad, so. It's okay. I'm rolling a read.
So while she's doing that, what else are you guys doing?
Well,
Hang on.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Let's give Chris a chance because he's been wanting to interact in the scene for a little bit now. And that's my fault.
well, the first thing I'm going to do, since there is a burning half body on the street, I am going to thank goodness that I was on my way home from work, which meant, luckily, the cops are already here. By that, I mean I'm already here. So I'm now going to be going and keeping people away and doing crowd control.
To be fair, this is on a very isolated back street. That's one of those people. It's not heavy. There's no footfall of the traffic. Realistically, it's one of those streets you'd have to have a reason to come down. It was selected specifically. So
Yes, this is known as block off the street with some police tape.
That's fair.
Okay, you begin to block off the street with police tape. Yuki, you see
I
this
don't
individual doing that.
Because I don't need normal people walking down here And something that is spewing coins out of its mouth is not something the mortal police need to know about either. I mean, unenlightened police need to know about either.
So
I mean-
I think I got one success.
You got one, so you can actively concentrate on it. You look. Quickly roll me your perception and awareness.
Perkware. Okay, hold on.
What you'll see is very strange. In the spirit, in the extra dimensional reality, you will see this. The shoe stone seems to almost you know that a soul, the lingering of some kind of soul trait has been in there, and you'll almost see in like a kaleidoscopish pattern. You'll probably also be seeing this too, since I know you've had a spirit sight, Evans. Sorry that I forgot about that.
No worries.
You'll see almost this trail coming from the shoe stone in this it's almost like you'll see a shadowy copy of it forming out of the shoe stone, and seemingly as like a snake going around and moving around within the spirit world.
Well, isn't that interesting?
It'd seem as though they have a copy.
I haven't seen anything like this since, well, it's been years.
And he says, "May I bring the body? I am quite hungry," says the snake.
He'll kind of raise a finger. Holy crap, it's going to be like stupid difficult for him to do this, but he has to, with the amount of effects he has on himself at the moment. Yeah, fuck it. He'll cover one of his eyes with his hands. You'll see the primal markings, because he had to take off his gloves to channel the electricity. So, for the record, when he does that, you'll see the fact his skin that is normally covered is literally imprinted in text. And it looks like dozens of, if not hundreds, of tiny tattoos all over his hands and going up his arms. Hashtag primal marks, though. He will cover one of his eyes with his hands, and he'll hiss something in the same language. Stolen, can you roll me 4 dice difficulty? Hang on, I have to do some math. It'd be base difficulty 7. I'm going to throw my custom focus lower by 2.
Your custom focus is
5. True naming of the phenomenon.
interesting. Okay.
Basically, he essentially commands the thing to work when he utters its true name, essentially. So to be able to see life is what the essence of true name is, the action.
4 dice, 5.
But 4 dice, difficulty 5, please.
3 successes.
Okay. He popped on his life sight. Is there anything that would be poisonous to the snake if it ate her?
You look at the makeup of this body, and there's definitely pieces of inorganic material within it. But the signatures of the living tissue itself is something that you have never quite seen before. In fact, seeing that, Evan, roll me your willpower.
This again? Okay. Does it pick off his mind shield? I should have asked that before.
It would prick off of it. Would it prick off of his mind shield? I keep forgetting about mind shield. So would it help with that?
Rule of thumb: if it's emotions, the mind shield won't help the way it's handled in this game, and if it's almost anything else that would cause loss of control or compulsions, it would.
Also, any kind of illusions that would affect his reality, etc.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
his state of
Definitely not an illusion. We'll actually say that the mind shield eats it.
Okay. Bing.
So
He'll kind of rub his head kind of nonchalantly. He's then going to very calmly walk over. You'll see him flick a Bowie knife from a scabbard that he holds behind his coat, literally on his back in a holster. And he's going to very calmly kneel down next to Molly and very unceremoniously dig the knife into it. He's going to basically excise the bits of her that are not organic.
so
There is no finesse to this. There is me butchering a body.
okay, there's no finesse to this. So you begin to take this out and work at the inorganic material. And as you do so, this strange... Have you ever... You know what trypophobia is?
No, actually, I don't.
Okay, so what you see is an array of tissue that has these almost hexagon-like digs within, like these hexagon-like digs and shapes that have been almost scooped out of the flesh, and you'll see these tiny little hovering pieces of something, some kind of strange flesh, and it smells like something freshly made off of some kind of technological fabricator, and and on top of that, some kind of... It's almost like you're seeing fractals or smelling fractals, and then seeing it as you smell it.
He very casually flicks it around in his hand and he says, Dr. L, these seem to be more up your alley than mine. Would you mind having a look for me?
Certainly. She moves closer and crouches to examine it. If it's tech, she's probably got at least some knowledge on it.
Okay.
Also, Chris, are you here?
Yeah, I was just typing a bunch.
Okay.
So, willpower 6. No, I don't have matter 2 or correspondence 2, but the secure the scene procedure only uses mind 2 to discourage transgressor from entering the secured area, but it does use forces 1 and matter 1 to pick up evidence of blood, gunpowder, and other residue, which I don't need. I just need the don't come here.
So basically that effect will stay there so long as you are there. If you leave that, because you can't lock it onto the tape itself for the area. So
right,
have to
which is not something I'm needing right now.
All right, so
I'm just needing it while I'm here.
So it'll be coincidental. Diff 5. You'll need at least 2 successes.
Securing the scene requires 3. So.
Okay, fair enough. But I think that 3 is mainly for the site-based stuff.
Actually, yeah, because that's with it automatically reducing it by 1 diff. So I'll spend a willpower.
Okay.
Ha! Good thing for the willpower.
So you got 1. You fail, or you can take an extra turn plus 1 diff to continue.
I'll take an extra turn. Diff. And I got that second success that I needed.
So you got 2 successes. You project a field basically with your stern manner and however else you wish to describe it.
And all that lovely police tape that I am marking off the street with.
Exactly. To basically tell any passerbyers to fuck off.
Fuck off and stay out.
That'll be good enough. So, Dr. L, you're coming down the stair body?
Say again?
You're coming down to examine the body, correct?
She's examining the excised tech, not the body itself.
Hey. You don't need. I'm not going to make you roll for this because I believe I know how your science. Your science is pretty high. What is it?
Ridiculously high, yes.
Yeah. So you won't even need to look at this because it's fairly obvious to you. While it seems to mimic and represent some kind of mechanical function, it almost just looks like pieces of paper that have been folded up really, really finely and the structure of that paper strengthened so that the person can move around. And you have no idea within your scientific knowledge how this is even possible. The way it's wired, quote unquote, assembled and constructed seems like it's completely outside of any kind of logic that you can understand.
Okay, she's going to look really closely at the paper. Is there any Chinese symbols on it?
No.
Okay. This isn't normal technology. I couldn't tell you how this was produced.
This is really strange. She's gonna look at Masha. Doctor, I don't know what you want to do with this, but since this incident happened on your property, and I leave what happens to this stuff in your hands.
Has he dug all of the bits of it of tech out of her, or of non?
Yeah, you dig at everything, and it seems to be mostly her abdomen, her abdomen and the organs within her abdomen, her spine, her left arm and left leg seem to be composed of this strange paper-like material. And almost like if you handle it too roughly, it almost breaks like paper within your hands and starts to crumple.
Very calmly, he's going to stand up and kind of brush himself off. Again, he's very meticulous, keeping his hands clean, etc. He'll clean the knife on the remnants of her clothing before sliding it back into its holster that he hides behind his coat. At which point he kind of makes sure to keep all of the stuff that came out of her mouth to one side. And he's just going to, yeah, you know what, he's totally that bitch. He's just going to let it whistle. Because I don't want to fucking go dig a grave.
Okay. You guys just hear a little bit of a whistle as Sebastian begins to head back into his shop, I assume.
He's actually kneeling on the ground. He's basically kind of stacking and cataloging what came out of her, as he's just going to let the snake eat her.
The snake actually begins to just stick his tongue around and just kind of goes, actually, you know what? No thanks, and just begins to kind of carry himself back up through the broken window.
You mean I've got to?
I would recommend incineration.
Fair. Why not? I've already taken enough of it today.
I actually agree in this case.
All right then. I really don't want to take this inside, so I'm going to have a lighter on them.
Actually, yes. She reaches into one vest pocket and tosses him a store-bought Bic lighter.
Yeah.
He'll flick it open.
The actually funny part about that question is Ryan would be smoking a cigarette while putting out the police tape.
He'll flick the lighter open and he'll light it. At which point he'll look down into the fire and he'll speak again in that weird hissed language that he does. And he'll kind of basically he's going to enhance the fire from the lighter because he actually only has Prime 1. But he's going to use the Forces 3 to basically expand the already existing fire to start burning the body to ashes.
You'd only need Forces 2.
Beg your pardon?
You'd only need Forces 2.
That's fair. He's going to use
L's going to do the same thing as Yuki.
Okay.
And giant steps backwards.
He's going to, so yeah, it'll be difficulty 3, Solon, do you mind rolling me 4 bones?
Diff.
3.
This is not too ridiculous of a thing, and we'll say it's coincidental.
I was happy to take the dogs.
Well, the ruling's already made. 2 successes. That's enough to create a large enough of a flame effect to begin to burn the body quite wholesalely. And as it burns, the burn smell actually kind of overwhelms your senses. As when you guys inhale the smells, fractal patterns begin to kind of appear within your vision, but nothing other, no negative effects necessarily. Just don't breathe in deeply. I'll say that. And there's all this strange, a variety of odd objects and trinkets and various assortment of goods surround the body as well. Does anyone take any of these items?
Maybe we're just going to move them all inside and kind of have a look at them. If anyone wants to have a look at them with them, that's entirely fine.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, that for those who have spirit sight, that pattern begins to go entirely itself into the stone, into that show stone, that spherical object, and almost start to rattle. And just the general sense you get, because of the way the Umbra even feels just by seeing it, you almost get the sense that it's like distraught.
Doctor, look at the pavement.
His eyes will flick down to the pavement. Oh, that's a thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the remains should be remitted to the West Wing.
Yes. I am going to go inside and get a tongs because I don't want to touch that with my bare hands.
Fair enough.
Even with my gloves, my response is a whole bunch of nope. He's going to go inside and get a tongs and lift up the stone with the tongs.
Okay, you lift up the stones with the tongs, and when you do, when Sebastian comes back with the tongs, like, you can still hold on to it. Actually, I'm going to have you roll your dexterity and athletics to kind of handle these tongs, as you feel, once you touch them with the tongs, they begin to vibrate maddeningly, and the tips of the tongue begin to glow blue.
I feel like I should lie and say that everything's under control. It's really not. It will be dexterity. At the moment is silly, and athletics. So, Sola, do you mind rolling me 6 dice to flip 6?
Only 1 success.
So you managed to hold on, but you feel that you don't really have long before you feel like you're gonna drop this thing. And you guys can see it vibratingly maddening in within the tongs. What do you guys do?
Okay. I actually have a rote for this. Let me see where it is.
Did you hear what I said, Evan?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
The phone goes in the vest, and the data pad comes out.
Ooh.
This looks like a kind of a larger, more ruggedized version of the phone. And this is going to be a Matter 1 rote, molecular analysis.
Okay.
Determines. She's trying to figure out what the fuck.
That's how we're phrasing it.
So, yeah. And this is one analysis where burning of willpower is definitely a thing.
Yeah. So we're gonna say coincidental. So that means 3 plus 1 is 4. What kind of? I'm guessing. What is this instrument tied to? If it's a unique one, or is it just a normal instrument?
It's a unique instrument, but I'm not sure what you mean by tied to.
Unique instruments are tied to a specific sphere.
Matter.
Matter. Okay, so it's tied to matter. So you get a -1. So it's down to 3. So that's the lowest it can go on Earth.
Wait, I rolled that wrong. There.
You're good. 4 successes. This thing's gonna last for quite. You've started up this program and done everything you need to do to analyze this object. So basically, here's what you can understand. The inert matter, the vibrational energy that is keeping it a material object, is starting to get faster and faster, and is beginning to transmute into energy.
It's becoming a bomb.
Is it actually becoming
Not quite. Not quite. It's not quite becoming a bomb.
Matter transmuting into energy, that usually lets off a lot of thermal energy all at once.
Definitely a lot of heat. But it seems to be like it's taking a while, but it's definitely like getting started.
It's a matter.
You're not sure how much time because you need a time effect to that.
I was going to say let me actually in this case. Hey Adam, let's rock a entropy 2 time 2 effect to look at the various different possibilities of the outcome of this item.
Okay.
Sad.
Night, Solid.
How are you doing this?
He's not touching the bloody thing.
I mean, if he wants,
it's within your sensory range, so you can't do that. And by the way, you only need entropy 1 to see the possible outcomes on 2.
It says entropy 2 in Book of Secrets, or not Book of Secrets. How do you do that?
That's
Time 2, entropy 2.
To see the chance of things, you don't only need 1. So I don't know why it says 2, but
yeah. But
could be typo.
Okay. So, I will need a new official dice roller because my Discord is not deciding to play nice. So.
But yeah, once you guys figure out what to do with this object, that'll be it for the scene for the most part. Just to let you know.
I can take over rolling duties from Solon if you need it.
Thank you. If you can please roll me 4D, 46. Difficulty will be. It's a
4.
rank 2, so 4. Yeah, so difficulty 3, please.
$4d10.
The fuck? I'm all sorts of special tonight.
They got 2 successes. I'll say that's enough. No, you got more than that. You got 4 successes, so that's plenty. The possibilities of what will happen to this. So you look through time. Your eyes kind of go back to your head. One, there's kind of 2 likely outcomes. One is that it will begin to shake so much that you lose control of it. It will fall and crack, and it will, and then that timeline, it will begin to crack, and as it does so, all of you begin to try and the possibilities begin to kind of spread out from there, and you can kind of see some where you guys are scrambling together to touch it, and basically one of you gets possessed. Another couple possibilities is where some of you try to pick it up again, but you can continue to drop it and crack it some more. And if you do crack it, it will basically explode, dealing a lot of damage to a lot of you. Another possibility is if you keep holding on to it and get a good manage of it, it will literally turn. If you don't somehow contain this thing, it will melt down into some kind of strange material light and bent and slip out of the grasp of your tongs and just simply leave the area.
May I institute a possible? May I institute with the results I have? He looks at a specific possibility that he wishes to create.
Okay, sure.
What happens if I keep it in a 0 gravity environment that is below absolute 0?
It will.
What?
What if he basically
No. You said below absolute zero. That's where my brain derailed.
Yes. Welcome to Mage.
If you do that. Okay, I need to do some quick metaphysical thinking right now. Hold on. You guys, we'll just say for now, while I'm thinking on this, you guys see Sebastian holding with these tongs this thing that's. I'm also going to have to ask you to make another dexterity athletics roll. And he's just trying to keep this
Come
thing
on,
stable.
guys, this is better work.
Hang on, I got to think about this.
Yuki watching this is can we not just levitate it?
That's what I was thinking.
The other option is to bury it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could bury it deep enough, fast enough.
I do. She pulls out a handful of what look like just buttons out of one of her pockets.
Crap. I can't keep doing that because it's actually going to destroy my arms. Because the only way I can get that voice is by literally moving my hands really.
So someone rolling? Did his dice already roll for your?
Okay, what dice do I need to roll?
Okay, Evan, what dice do you need rolled?
Well, I need to see if my idea will work before I need to roll the dice. And I'm just waiting for the ST because, in theory, his computating all of these are instantaneous. It's just a matter of the ST needing to brain catch up.
What would happen is if you contain the energy in a zero gravity state, and this is the way I'm imagining it, is it will create a realm that is just completely a collapsed in point in space within that space.
So, okay. So what you're saying is...
Let's not have a naked singularity.
So what you're saying is, if we put it in an awesomely reinforced box, we'd have a black hole in the box.
Kind of.
Okay, Mr. Romulan.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is the power force to a Romulan starship.
Yep. And that ended so well for those guys. I just remember when Picard had a mental breakdown and drew a smiley face in the reactor core explosion.
The line must be drawn here.
Yeah.
No further.
You know what, guys? Fuck it. Let's put it in the box.
Yes, let's put it in the box.
It also means that in the event we ever need it in the future, we have a black hole in the box.
Okay.
I mean, it's better than the portable holes that Dr. L's got right now.
Okay, so hang on. L, you make the box. I will do. You make the box while I work with fucking with the space-time continuum. We have a plan.
Does anyone have matter to anchor the effect into the box?
Yes, actually.
Well, your paradigms go together.
No.
Go ahead, Tim.
I'm just gonna say to Sam, what's going on?
Well, Evan, you can. Well, you walk upon Dublin Street. Dublin. You're within the center of Dublin, around the center districts of Dublin, within the more back alley areas, and you come upon a scene with several people standing around outside of a building that has a hole in it that has burn marks with police tape. Right, but this isn't an. Do you have a mind shield, Zamara?
Not one active.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
You can, however, roll a... Okay, because we had to... We worked this out the other day. They can roll a perception awareness roll, and then they can roll to basically mentally dodge the effect. This is the roll that Jemima kept failing the other day.
Yeah, it does state that In order to enter a scene, the character needs to make willpower roll with more successes than the operative who established the effect. So he has to make a willpower roll with at least 2 successes. Well, more than 2.
Okay. And I aced the willpower check. 3.
All right, so you basically, even though you kind of feel this presence, you kind of feel this emotional push to stop you from looking at this specific area because of the policeman that's there and the tape that's been set up. You definitely look upon the scene, and you can see a guy holding like this weird spherical object that has with tongs, and there's a blue glow to the end of the tongs, and he kind of has this really messed up look to him. You see Yuki, and you see a woman with red hair that seems to have some kind of data pad out, and some kind of emergency officer that's there smoking a cigarette.
Actually, just a quick point. He couldn't lock the effect on the box because he doesn't have matter. However, he could just ward the area and lock the effect on the area with basically correspondence.
So you want to basically you want to implement that as a ward.
Yes, essentially.
So you're creating a pocket dimension, right?
Not necessarily a pocket dimension. I'm sorry, we'll let Tim intro. My apologies. Tim, do you think?
Yeah, Sam's just gonna roll up on this. She's gonna be like, hey guys. What's going on?
I'm not meaning to be incredibly rude, but who the hell are you?
Not vibrating.
Well,
I'm sorry, that was sassy.
Congratulations, that makes one of us.
That was sassy. My name's Sam.
It's very nice to meet you, Sam. Now, if you wouldn't mind, we're trying to stop the next Chernobyl.
Oh no. That's not good.
And so you can pierce space, open or close gates. The thing is you can't put it into a correspondence room because you don't have enough correspondence. You only have correspondence of 3.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you guys are attempting to do?
I think we're trying to implement Plan Black Hole in the Box. If you think of how to do it.
So what you basically need is a material strong enough to withstand the gravitational effects of the singularity.
Yes.
Dr. L's face just sinks when she realizes exactly what's necessary. I hope you didn't mind losing this street.
He'll casually shrug. Not my street.
You know, Sebastian, there's someone who could help you.
Oh God, no. He's so nice. Hey, yeah. To quote something, holy shit, this is about to get biblical.
Why does it have to be necessarily biblical? I find that to be restricted anyway. So what are we trying to do with the box? What are we trying to do with the box other than stop it from going nuclear?
It's not a box, it's a spherical shoe stone that's in his hands.
Okay, my bad. I kept hearing the word box.
The box is about to be made.
Yeah, so Sam's just gonna say, so what is it, like a bomb? Is it a nuclear bomb? What's going on?
The material in his hands is undergoing matter-to-energy transfusion, which basically means this entire city block is going to become atomized within about 10 minutes.
from what I
And we need to stop
understand of this conversation, Sam, that thing, if we don't stop it, is just going to become negative space, negative, pure chaos with a K.
Oh, chaos, huh?
Yes, with a K.
Hey, Adam.
Yes, Tim, by the way, what sites do you have up?
I don't have any right now, but I'm about to bring up Entropy and Forces site.
Excellent. So that will be
With my fancy new Arate die!
that'll be difficulty 4. Unless you're using some kind of unique or custom foci.
So, I mean, all Sam's going to be doing right now is she's just going to sit there and she's going to look at this shit and just stare at it. She can't establish eye contact with it, but yeah.
And what are you trying to do with the Entropy Forces site? So you got 1 success, so you can maintain active concentration.
Basically, like, it's okay. Basically, what's happening right now is a lot of matter is turning into a lot of energy. She's trying to get what's going on with that, and she's trying to get what's going on with, well, so chaos was just described to her, and she happens to be a specialist in chaos magic.
Okay, here's what's weird. In the physical world, how to explain this? There is some kind of force. You for some reason can't. You just feel like there's a good chunk of it missing, and you're not sure where it's going to go. But at least in terms of here in the physical world, your entropy is telling you it's nothing. Nothing here. Nothing likely here is going to happen.
Hey guys, something's missing from this. And I think if it goes off, it may not go off here. Let me check something weird.
Those with spirit sight? Those with spirit sight?
Yeah, I was going to ask spirit sight. That's what I'm going to
Yeah, okay, so Tim, put up your spirit sight first.
Oh, Jesus, then I have to go through the rigmarole of explaining this again.
Hey, no one explained it when Samara asked, so she's got to go. Well, okay, no. Yuki explained it. So Samara's got to go.
When you look at this character, you will have to get told a crap load of information.
Oh, okay, so my spirit sight's up. How bad is it?
So everyone who has spirit sight up.
The easy part first. Dr. L looks like a completely normal baseline human.
Yes.
Perfectly normal baseline human.
Okay. So Tim, you have your forces sight up too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The spiritual forces within the Umbra at any point now are gonna. The environment within the Umbra is going to start pulsing and breaking enough to where the gauntlet might even be harmed. On top, and this is those who see those who just have spirit sight alone, the forces begin to bleed Tim a lot within the Umbra, and you can see the spiritual reflection of the Umbra, which is probably Vidari Mortem because you're Thanatos. It begins to start breaking and cracking and pulsing quite a damn bit.
So, I have a stupid idea, Adam.
Okay, Tim. What's the idea?
I have a really stupid idea. Alrighty, so this is something on an entropic, physical, and spiritual level, right?
It's not entropic in the sense that it's like made out of entropic energy of the cosmos or whatever. It's that it is going to cause a lot of damage. Like you have an idea that there's a high likeliness that is going to cause a lot of damage in this place. And there's a lot of energy that is slowly beginning to pour out as this, for your end, Dr. L, it's still going to take a while, but it is slowly transmuting itself into some form of energy.
Okay,
yeah.
So stupid question, Adam. Can I render this bomb inert with entropy 3, forces 2, spirit 2? The forces 2 is to disperse the physical energy.
To disperse it, like
and
space it out so it's not so concentrated?
Yeah.
You're trying to space...
The
okay.
spirit part is to shape the ephemera,
Yeah.
like the spiritual power that's being shunted out. Entropy is to basically stabilize this thing.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. So it got... So, okay. You can do that, Tim. You can do that, Tim. It's how are you doing this, first of all?
Well, firstly, Sam's going to say, hey, guys, I think I have an idea to maybe not have that blow up, but it's going to be kind of weird. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not really a physicist. So let's go with it. Yeah, right?
All right.
Hey,
I'll hear it.
Sam's just going to blow on it.
But then we won't get our black hole in the box.
You're just going to blow on it.
Basically, what this is, I explained it to Heather a little bit because Goon Sam has a vastly different way of employing this.
Yeah.
Sam is literally, rather than having it be like, in what I told Heather, it's not going to be like a kiss of life or death or whatever. It's just, she's literally blowing the winds of change.
I see.
Gently.
So basically, Tim, if I'm getting this correct, you're giving the bomb a blowjob.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
That's
going
what's
to be,
happening.
This is going to be coincidental. Difficulty 6. As you know, without any modifiers. I will say because you're having an appropriate resonance for what you're trying to do, you're going to get a -1 diff, so difficulty 5. And you're going to need at least 6 successes.
Fair enough. Let's get it. And Sam's just going to walk up to this thing.
More on top of those 6 will also be a positive thing as well.
Okay. So, so...
Give a spectacular blowjob. Make the bomb not go off.
So, Sam's actually going to look at Yuki, and she's going to say, hey, can you help me out with this? I might need some help.
Oh, sure. Yuki will go stand next to Sam, and she will take Sam's hand and interlace her fingers with Myra's.
All right.
And remind me of the rules, Evan. Do they need to have the exact same spheres in order to do this? To add their arites together?
They need to have, well, if they're both using, basically, if they're both... If they're both using a given effect, then their spheres need to match up in the sphere effect, yes.
Okay, so Yuki, do you have Entropy 3, Spirit 2, and Forces 2?
No, I have Entropy 2, Spirit 2, and Forces 2.
I think she can at least add an auto success because she'd be considered like assisting.
What do you want to say, Evan?
Yeah, sure, go with it.
And we'll go with it. So you get an automatic success for Yuki helping you.
Bitchin'.
You need 5
There's one auto.
So you got
There goes
4 successes
we
total.
got 4 right now. I'm gonna be so low on willpower. Sam's gonna be so fucking tired. She's just, yeah.
And we'll
Alrighty, so right now we've rocked 7.
7. Well, because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So, and I'm assuming you're doing this as a ritual, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this takes a little while. Say this was around maybe, we'll just to speed, not have things going for too long. 5 minutes per roll. You begin to blow on this, and within the spirit world, the guys who are looking at the spirit world on the other side, Dr. L, you see that by the time that Sam has finished this, most of the matter within the shoe stone has been dispersed. As what's interesting about it is, as Sam is doing this, the shoe stone begins to actually disappear and to slowly transcend and go through the gauntlet. And the energy just kind of, the spiritual energy just kind of disperses, and the ephemera goes out into the various different buildings, and the entire area within this part of the penumbra stabilizes and calms down, and the
She lets loose a large sigh of relief and puts the buttons away.
Well, on the bright side, my arms are no longer being shaken out of their sockets.
Sam just throws the thumbs up.
Yep.
You good?
Oh shit, yes. Hi Sam. You now look at me, don't you?
Yeah.
And
heresy.
Brian will be starting a new cigarette with his current cigarette, and then throwing the current cigarette on the ground and going to the new one.
I can't talk too loud at the moment, actually. But yeah, Sam. To put it, Evan can explain. But to put it simply, heresy.
Oh no! Wait, heresy.
His aura
Y'all
glows
motherfuckers need Slanesh.
His aura glows with inhuman clarity, absolutely brilliant and radiant and majestic. However, it also appears to have black lightning crackling through it, and black corruption appears to miasm its way through it.
It's as though it's as though his aura, his spirit is literally diseased.
It's a lot of bad karma. Shouldn't say that out loud, but just thinking that's a lot of bad karma.
Roll your intelligence mage lore difficulty 6, requiring a threshold.
Yeah, that's right.
If I remember right, this is the same thing that she saw with Owen a while back, wasn't it?
Did he have? Yes. No, they're different. They're similar but different. Owen's appeared more black and rotten as opposed to this. His appeared to be the Black Death, and this appears to be more kind of weirdly apotheosized.
Okay, I've got 2 on the mage lore.
Well, it was a difficulty of 2. All right. If Adam can't really talk, I'll give you the gist of it.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, okay, you are. Okay, continue.
Because I was quickly noting something down. What was it you were trying to do, Sam?
I was just told to roll mage lore. I don't know
that's
what
right.
for, really.
Intelligence mage lore difficulty 6. You rolled it?
Yeah, I did. I got 2.
Okay, you got 2. Okay, so you've heard about this guy from the Euthanatos, and that they were kind of debating on what to do about him. They're not sure really about the political situation at the moment. But this guy is Dr. Sebastian Draken, who used to be of the Order of Hermes, is the ones who've kind of said a lot of bad mouth this guy a lot. Basically, he's been claimed to associate with demons, and is the child of a demon, of a infernalist dabbler that was executed within the Order of Hermes. The Celestial Chorus basically were the ones that viewed over his birth, and because his sins could not be carried over from the parents, he was actually saved by the Chorus. However, he has had all sorts of very unpopular things said about him, and you've been known within your own tradition that this individual should either be evaluated for the good death or stay away from them. They're dangerous. They corrupt. You shouldn't trust them. They potentially still are associated with who knows if they're still associated with their demonic heritage. Use good judgment.
Hi, I am the thing that makes babies stay up at night.
So the bomb's been used. That's good news.
What was that? Sorry, Tim?
Oh, Sam just so like she got one look at the aura. She didn't say anything. She just said so the bomb got defused. That's good.
He'll look at Jewel or Yuki, and he'll say, "I take it that you know this person."
Yes, we are of the same tradition, I suppose.
It's very nice to meet you in that case. He'll extend his hand. Thank you for your help.
Hey, no problem. I'm gonna shake his hand. Based on my mage lore roll, he didn't actually do anything, did he?
People claim he's done all kinds of things, but it's like more so a bad reputation than him ever actually being proved to do anything.
Pretty much.
You will notice on his hands, etched into his skin, looking more like branding than the tattoo that runs all the way up his hands because he's lacking his gloves at the moment. Weird sigils and symbols. You've seen Enochian written before, haven't you? You've seen Iscariot's laptop and other things like that, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gotten glimpses.
Yeah, it looks very reminiscent.
Okay.
Because hashtag that primal marks, though.
Yeah. Out of character, I've been waiting for you to drop this fucking concept. You've been talking about this dude for like a year and a half. Fuck.
What was this?
You've told me about this dude. Like, before you made him.
Playing the open... Yeah, I did.
Like, I didn't know you were doing this, dude.
Yeah, he'll pull his gloves back on. You kind of see him. They're skin tight, like is shown in the picture, and he'll say, "Well, it would appear as though I now need to get a new window for my shop because a marauder decided to try and kill me today. It's be Tuesday."
Is that the marauder?
Yes, well, briefly. That was before I hit it with approximately enough juice to probably kill a bull rhino.
Hey. Weird question is...
Hang on, one at a time. Your question first.
She's just gonna look to Elle and ask, are you like here with somebody or what?
Am I what?
Are you here with somebody?
No, I came here on my own. Why'd you ask?
Why are we talking about all this stuff in front of her?
Oh, she's one of us. She's just much better at hiding it than most people are.
Oh, my bad. Whew.
If it helps, he'll point up the fact that her eyes are both slightly different colors.
Yeah, one eye, if it's any time in shadow, actually glows neon blue.
I was getting ready to say that's perfectly explainable until that last part.
Yeah, no. Wait. Yuki will nod.
But yes, needless to say, I've had plenty of people try to kill me. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Order of Hermes arranges Sally to, attempt my murder every other Tuesday, but I've had a marauder try to kill me before.
Doctor, if you don't mind, I would like to repair your windows. It's not very hard to do.
Oh, I'm always happy to have my windows repaired.
Just make sure that all the glass is in one pile. That should be sufficient.
He will nod and go inside and get it. He'll walk inside for a few minutes to get a brush, so if you want to talk shit about him behind his back, now is an excellent time.
Question, Chris.
Sorry, what was that?
I have I'm asking Chris something right quick.
Okay.
Does your dude ping as a mage?
Well, do you have...
I do have spirit side up,
On the
yes.
spirit side, yes, he pings as having an avatar.
Yes, I definitely have an avatar.
Okay, sweet.
And if you have Prime Side up, I also have Active Effects up. Plural.
Indeed he does.
That's less the issue and more just making sure that there's not like rando sleepers just chilling next to all these mages talking about mage things.
Nope.
Yeah, we
But-
good.
You might have seen one group of sleepers walk by, but they, for the most part, just keep their distance and mind their own business.
Yeah, like about the point they saw the police tape, they were just like, "Oh, time to leave."
Like, oh shit, man, fuck.
Ah, shit, another whore got murdered. Oh, well.
Right. So, we are going to need to get all of the mess cleaned up before I leave. As soon as I leave, tape's not going to keep anyone out.
That does pose a problem.
Not necessarily. I can make sure that the exterior of the place looks just fine, and the incineration and subsequent problem that we had has taken care of that part of the physical evidence.
There's probably still some traces that can be found, but short of a group and set of operatives, it's unlikely.
And there's also a bunch of paraphernalia on the floor. I mean, did Sebastian take some of it upstairs?
He definitely. Okay. Question: Did any of it ping under his? Did any of it ping under his prime side?
There is some kind of residual quintessence, like quintessential resonance. A lot of it feels burdened, disturbed, and elementally. There's almost like there's a strange gravitational kind of signature to it.
But the only thing he's really interested in are the journals you said existed.
Yeah, there were journals.
He's going to take the journals up with him
Okay.
because he's probably going to read them.
And I'll let you know what's...
At the library.
I was going to say also, journals of a fucking marauder definitely have a place in my weird shop of fuck you.
Yeah. But there's other things on the ground like talismans, tokens, like coins, pentacles, strange different pieces of cloth that you see that have lipstick stains on it. Just for the record, everyone. Yes.
Well,
yeah. Dr.
I
L
guess-
looks over at Officer Pierce. You can take that into custody if you want, but I still have a way of disposing of it quickly and without any trace.
I don't think we need the unenlightened officers to become aware of the situation. So I don't think it really needs to be taken into custody or at least turned in to evidence.
At this point,
Ex-
Sebastian will return, now armed with a sweeping brush.
Very well.
Because explaining
Does anyone... Go ahead.
because explaining how and or why a reality deviant would cause such chaos in the middle of the street.
Not something worth the paperwork, yeah?
Right. That's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, understood. If anyone doesn't object, then I can bury it about a meter down. And make sure that it's extremely hard to extricate from the surrounding material.
I think it'd be better to sanitize the evidence and just completely destroy it.
What are they referencing as he comes back out, by the way?
The remaining doodads.
He'll shrug and he'll say, honestly, they seem to me to be just bric-a-brac. Realistically, I think that our good friend, the police officer here, is right. They should probably all just be chucked and burned.
Now, wait a minute. This bric-a-brac came out of a marauder that tried to kill you in a torrent, and Yuki, she has this face She has this look on her face like she can't even believe what she's saying right now. Total disbelief. I honestly think that it might be worth at least keeping it around, so if there's more instances like this, we have something to go off of.
You're talking about the resonance trace.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but those are handkerchiefs or napkins with lipstick on them, are they not?
Indeed, they are.
It's worth a shot, but who do we store it with? Not me. I don't even have a place yet.
If Dr. Draken doesn't have space for them, I suppose we could store them. And she'll look at Sam.
Ooh, what are we trying? What out of character? What are we trying to keep up in our place?
This bric-a-brac stuff with the faint resonance signatures.
The bomb? I'm just calling it the bomb.
No, it's not the bomb. It's the random crap that fell out of the Marauder when she died.
Yeah, like it. I'll tell you all about it later, Tim.
Okay,
Apparently,
cool.
out of character, apparently the Marauder's parents were both pinatas.
As long as there's not like another person going back into the place, because god damn it, too many people are living there as it is. Sam's mad as shit. Yeah, she'll say, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
All right, we have the custodians. And now we just need a suitable container. That shouldn't take much material from the surrounding area.
He will just casually walk inside, walk out with a box.
Ah, even better. Thank you, Doctor.
No. Thank you, Doctor. Because playing that game is always fun.
Would you like some storage bags? Would you like some storage bags so you can keep each of the items separate?
That might actually be a very good idea. You don't know what happens when you mix these things together. Oftentimes, perhaps the resonances rub off on each other and you reveal something that is not easily seen.
Which he'll go to his car and pop the trunk, grab a bunch of evidence bags, hand over a bunch of evidence bags. Yeah, the empty evidence bags
And
to put everything in.
Dr. L will put all of the stuff in the evidence bags and then into the box.
Well, guys, unfortunately, I have to go. This was really, really fun. Thank you so much. I will, Evan. I will give you notes on some of the journals, and for those, let me know who takes stuff in their blue books. So I can kind of give you an idea on what you specifically got and how if there's anything you want to do with it.
All right. I mean, I'm happy to call the scene there in that case. So, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin where motherfucking lightning bitches.